Okay, here we are again. In a few moments we will be starting. I'm gonna go get the controller. Right before we start, so I might as well leave my jacket unzipped because I'm gonna wrap it around my legs and my hands before we start. So, brand new project. Almost done with the suggestions. It won't be a soon thing because the last suggestion is atrociously long, but we'll get there. People will be looking at the update video and being like, wow, he did the PS2 and GameCube and all those projects in like a year and a half, 2 years. Meanwhile, it only took him like 6 months to do this one. Oh no. Oh, you poor sweet summer child. No, that is unfortunately not going to be the case. So, but we'll get there. It's fine. See, there you go. Somebody already said it. Hello, Sephico. How you doing? Welcome back. Never seen this game. Well, good, because it's a good one, and I am glad to bring it to people because, yeah, I've got a particular soft spot for this one. It's probably, so it's definitely like an S tier game for me. Okay, so either like the highest of high A rank or low S rank, but probably low S rank would be where I'd stick it. It's like my third favorite? Tied for third favorite indie game of all time, and almost all of my top like 5 indie games are in S or A rank for me, so yeah. I was thinking about that actually. Maybe one time we'll do for a stream like a day that I need a break or something. Maybe we'll do like a tier list or something so I mean, I already have a sort of a tier list that tells you like if I enjoyed a game or if it was alright or if I'm not a fan or if I cut it off, that sort of thing. But like actually tiering the streams into like S, A, B, C, D, F, I don't know. Maybe we'll do that one time. I don't know when, but maybe. And Marie's here as well. Welcome back, Marie. Need to find my old stream suggestions document and spoil yourself on the last suggestion. Well, it's a multiplayer project and it's probably going to be about 50 streams long, so those are your 2 hints. I don't want to say too much more, but yeah. I'm not sure if, I think I might have taken that document private actually because I haven't fixed it yet, so I'm not sure if you can even view it at the moment, but well, if you can, you'd have to find the old document link. I don't think it's currently, I think I took it off of the links in my Twitch channel there to make sure that, because it's not accurate anymore, to make sure that it doesn't, like, people don't come across it and be like, oh, this is all I have to do to suggest something right now, right? And it's like, no, there's a new process that I have to write down, so. I think. I'm not 100% sure about that, though, so. Adjusting my footing, my seating. Alright, so clock says 4:31, so I'm gonna take a drink, I'll go get the controller, and then we'll get started. Excuse me. Have the controller, wrap up my jackets so I can put my hands in the hood and the rest around my legs, and here we go. Okay, so when I first completed this game, I said to myself, you know, that was really good. I should try to play this. This was during my 6-month break from streaming back in 2020, and I said I should try to play this like as soon as possible when I go back to streaming. That was like 2 years ago at this point. The road may have been long, but apparently all roads lead back to this game. And I'm okay with that. How you doing, everybody? My name is Monochromium, and this is Pyre. Or as the announcer from the trailers likes to say, something closer to like, Pyre. I can't quite get my voice like he does, but that's okay. So this is an indie game project. Yeah, we're back to doing those. It's also a very good indie game, in my opinion. I mentioned it earlier on this stream, but if you just tuned in, it's probably like my third favorite indie game of all time, tied for. It's definitely like really high up there in terms of the games that I've enjoyed. So yeah, we're gonna give it a shot. I'll ideally this will be providing this game to a larger audience because, from what I understand, despite the fact that this was developed by Supergiant, and most people should know about Supergiant because everything they develop is fantastic, this one apparently doesn't have as large of an audience. I think it might be because of the fact that Hades sort of overshadowed it, because this game came out and then like a year and a half later, Hades is not closed beta, but open alpha, I think, started. And they did like a really big alpha and beta period for Hades for like, I don't know, I want to say like a year and a half before it released. But yeah, this one came out before it. And it sort of set the groundwork for what Hades would eventually do. So if you're a fan of that one, I haven't played it, so I apologize, but I'm a fan of this one, and you'll probably be a fan of this one too. That being said, before we jump right in and have our fate weighed, let's do a little bit of option changing. Now, normally for me in this game, the graphical fidelity in this one is kind of like Tetris Effect for me, in which case I can't really stare at it for a significant period of time without my eyes bugging out. So the streams might be a little bit shorter this time, probably closer to the vicinity of like 2 hours to 2 hours and 15 minutes per stream, I think. We'll see if that actually works out. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Normally, to mitigate that when I play it, I turn the brightness like down here somewhere. But as you can plainly see by what that does to the screen, it makes it so that you can hardly see the gameplay. So I'll turn it to like, let's see, maybe a little more than that. Is that like half? I think that's a little below half. But basically, I want to make it so that everybody can see it okay, so we'll put it like right there. Cursor speed, it needs to be a little higher, actually. A little higher. There we go. No, that's not quite right. A little higher. There we go. That's good. Hey, Amarella, how's it going? Welcome back. We are playing some Pyre, and by playing some Pyre, I mean I'm fixing the volume and stuff beforehand. Yeah, and I know I need to turn down the sound effect volume a little bit. But the rest I think is okay. Subtitles we want on, vibration we want off, move list, I don't think I need that. I'll leave hurry text on, but I probably won't use it. And then aim assist, no. Alright, so I think that's good. Controls next. So, let me see, how did I have this? I definitely had jump be X. So, I think Auracast was square. Pass I think I had on circle then. Sprint, I'll put on R1. Salute we'll leave on triangle, that's fine. Lock on, we'll just stick the Devil May Cry 5 version on there. Pass to next, pass to previous. I gotta remember that because I don't use that often enough. And then those are fine. So we'll do the Mega Man X controls kind of, sort of, a little bit here, I suppose. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, and that takes care of that. I don't think we'll be doing any versus mode, by the way. It's local co-op, or rather local competitive, or a CPU adversary, and you can use all the different characters that you'll see in the campaign. I think this one will squarely focus on campaign mode instead of versus mode. So if you're looking for versus mode, I'm sure there are other videos on it out there, but I'm personally a bigger fan of the campaign because it actually has things happening in it besides just versus matches against the CPU. So, you know. I'm doing pretty good, Amarella, playing a game that I enjoy quite a bit, so definitely doing very well as a result. So, for campaign mode, we are joining our fellow exiles in their quest for freedom. There's no game over in the campaign. Your choices and outcomes are part of your story. You can retry battles in the story, but I will attempt to minimize the number of battles that I retry. That being said, I'm still going to try to go for what I consider to be one of the best endings. I don't know if there is a definitive best ending in the game because there are so many different variations on it due to how many choices and consequences there are in the game. But, yeah, we'll see what happens in it. So let's start a new campaign. We'll stick a new profile on, and we will go from there. We'll start on standard difficulty because I'm actually pretty bad at this game, if I'm being completely honest with you. The higher the difficulty goes here, and you can even take it all the way up to True Nightwing if you've got a file that has beaten the game. I erased it before this to make it all fresh, but the higher the difficulty goes, the more bullshit some of the CPU moves can be made, up to the point where if you're playing on True Nightwing difficulty, there's moments in the fights in this game, the battles, where there's a slow motion dynamic camera angle thing that happens, and the CPU during that slow motion dynamic camera angle thing will be able to pass the ball approximately 5 times across the field and slam dunk it into your Pyre. Basically, it's just complete bullshit. It's something that the human hand could never possibly do. So if you don't like it being on this difficulty, I apologize, but there is a more organic way of increasing the difficulty later on in the game, and we will show that off as we go along. But we can't do that until we start, so let's get started, shall we? Plus, I can't really explain how the heightened difficulty and stuff works until we really start to get into the actual battle mechanics of the game, but we'll get there. Soon enough. For now, we start our adventure in a desert valley. What is it about indie games and having deserts in them that always makes me a big fan? Like, Journey did the same thing, and now here we are again. Like 10 years after that playthrough. So yeah, let's go play Pyre, shall we? I don't know how well it's being picked up on the screen there, because I think it might be a mite darker than can be seen, but on my screen you can see it clear as day. That little thing that's in the middle of the sand out there looks like a little rock or something like that. That is not a rock. There's a robe on top of that. That is a person. And as it turns out, that person is me. So they've got text that's just like this on the screen here. I won't be reading this stuff. I'll react to this stuff. I just won't be reading this stuff. However, there are certain key terms that you can highlight with your cursor so that you can get a little bit more information about them. I will be reading these so that way we get a little more info about it. So, apparently we've been thrown into the downside, and it has brought us to the brink of collapse, at the very least. The downside itself is a vast purgatory into which the Commonwealth casts its convicts and its enemies. None have been known to return from the Forsaken Land. Well, that's just great. I just got into the game and I'm already in jail. What is this, the Elder Scrolls? Yeah, it was a rock. Lobster! I just jump out and I'm a crab demon. Speaking of crab demon, hello there. Yeah, I suppose you could say I was expelled from the Commonwealth, a proud country risen from the ashes of a fallen empire, home to a multitude of ethnic groups. The Commonwealth was founded on principles of mercy and kinship, whose exact meanings evolved through many centuries. Let's hope that the meanings of mercy and kinship aren't entirely lost on all of us here. I'm sure you did, in fact, say that. I am still alive, despite the fact that these protests are probably just in my imagination because I can barely breathe, so the likelihood that I'm actually talking to all of you is difficult. Now, Pyre, being an indie game made relatively recently, actually has a method of allowing the characters in the game to call you by your specific pronouns. So it has male options, female options, and non-binary options. Looks good to me. I mean, they don't have all of them, but the fact that they would even put that amount of effort in and then change it throughout the entire game, yeah, that's good in my book. It's a good step forward. More accessibility is always a good thing. I'll leave it at male because, well, they should, because I myself am, in fact, male, so. I would prefer if you didn't do that, actually. I guess it's hard to tell under the robe, isn't it? One of whom? I wonder if the music is high enough. I think it is, but it's a little low on my end over here, despite the fact that the... Oh, no, that's what it is. I just had the volume down lower than usual. Okay, it's probably fine. Yes, all of the above. Do you have anything that you could spare for me? Please, I am dying out in this desert. Oh, okay. Let's see if it's a friendly face under that mask or if they're gonna kill me. Hello? Well, I suppose that's fair. Thank you, kind sir. I was dying, and now I am no longer dying. That's actually surprising. I was not expecting to see somebody so noble just kind of walk across the desert and come across my near-dead body. Fair enough. So this is our first exile, Headwind. He's one of the three-masked wanderers who found me clinging to life in the downside. Let's see if we can find out more about him by going with him, shall we? A black wagon, huh? Yeah, this thing looks a little more beat up than the one that they dragged my body out from the streets in. So let's go see what's inside their black wagon, shall we? Oh, well, good. It's even dingier in here than it looked like on the outside. Fantastic. I guess they don't really have too many niceties down here, do they? Anyway. Hello. Nice to see the both of you again. Somehow you're more intimidating with the mask off than with the mask on. I don't mean any disrespect, but you really are. I don't even know how you got those horns in there, considering how they angle up like that. So the second of our exiles is Jo Dariel. She's the most imposing of the three-masked wanderers who found us clinging to life. No kidding. As for the smaller one, do you need some help? Never mind. And the third one is Rookie Greentail, the smallest yet loudest of the three-masked wanderers who found us clinging to life. So here's our motley crew. Fantastic. Nice to meet all of you. Can I do... I'm right here, ma'am. You can talk directly to me. I don't know if I've even said a word since I got here. Hi, Rookie. Do I know how to read? What kind of a question is that? Well, let's find out. So a reader is one who can derive meaning from text. No kidding. But read the blurb underneath that where it says, literacy has been prohibited for centuries in the Commonwealth. Those with knowledge of the old ways violate the law of the land. And, yeah, well, if you looked at my get-up on the way in here, they didn't dress me up in this for a practical joke, so yes, I can, in fact, read. And that's what they mean when they say there's no use trying to hide it now, because you're in the robes of a reader. That's what they clad you in before they throw you down here, so yeah, no point in hiding it. Oh, do you? You know, I felt a little bit more like these were good Samaritans before this, but now I'm starting to get a little suspicious again. I mean, I suppose one hand washes the other, but this feels a little too easy. Alright, let's have a look at these books. Some of them look a little on the dingy side, I'll tell you what. Are you guys gonna watch me the whole time that I'm trying to read this? I guess so. Wonder what these are for. I mean, they were clad in them when they found me, but was it a ritualistic thing or what? And what's with the dude on the floor? A figure sits very still in the corner of the wagon. Now is not the time to check on him, because they might beat me up if I try to do anything but look at this book, because these books, not interactable. This one is one of several such heavy, ominous volumes. Great, even more reason to get suspicious. And, well, I don't really have much of a choice, because beyond lies the boundless downside. Even if you could run, which you can't because your legs are broken from coming down here, you wouldn't get very far. So let's just read, shall we? Let's see what we've got here. Kind of a weird feeling book. It doesn't feel like leather bound. If it is leather, it's bleached beyond belief. Oh, there are words in here. Surprising. Let's take a look at it, shall we? The foreword, a formal welcome undersigned by the 8 scribes. You, dear reader, are an exile of the downside, such as we, the 8 who wrote this book of rights. That you possess it and have capacity to glean its words is testament enough to your potential. Thus, we reveal a path from this forsaken place to freedom, a homecoming in glory. The stars themselves shall be your guide. Ere the turning of the year's first solstice, seek the nearest longitude beneath the brightest of 8, as they align, as shown. Arrive as a triumvirate, clad in the raiments of the rites bearing this book, and oblige the voice that tells you more. So seek the nearest longitude beneath the brightest of these 8 stars. Okay. So I guess we're going to want to go outside and see if we can find the brightest one when dark comes down tonight. Yeah, it sounds a little complicated, but maybe we can figure it all out. Let's see if we can defer the meaning to our fellow illiterate people here. Well, it kind of... Okay, hang on, wait a minute. I don't think I feel so good. Oh boy. Maybe I shouldn't have read again. Maybe I should have learned my lesson when the Commonwealth paraded me around as a criminal. Because now I read, and I fall unconscious. Hello.
Tamper with forbidden knowledge?
I mean, that is why they threw me down here, voice
soon
man.
After your sentence into exile.
Old habits die hard.
It is true what the book says. You can be free again.
Oh, okay.
Perhaps not you yourself.
Oh, okay.
But someone worthy of the privilege.
How am I supposed to deem someone worthy?
Witness now the path towards salvation. You witness the rights.
Okay.
The one way to return to glory. Though in your case, I hardly think it possible.
Listen, man, the pain in my legs is already real. You don't have to rub it in.
It is my duty to inform you anyhow.
Fair enough. What worked? Are you guys okay down there? Why are you teeny tiny little specks like small soldiers on my book now? I'm up here! They probably can't hear me. He won't. He wouldn't close the book and break all of the bones in our body, would he? Well, that's fair enough. I don't think I'd like to grow old and die in purgatory either. Alright, let's see what we can do for you then, Hedwyn.
A celestial orb falls from the heavens when the time is nigh.
Okay. So, we can now approach the celestial orb. We're starting with the tutorial of the battle mechanics in Pyre. It's, not like anything you've ever played. Unless you've played some really, really weird sports ball games in your day. So, you pick up the orb. It's the ball, quote unquote. You can pass the orb to other people in your triumvirate. The person with the ball is the one who can move. Everyone else will stand still. It's passed over to Ruki because the tutorial tells me to. So yeah, only one exile can move at a time depending on who has the ball. The rest of them will stand still. Now, you can move around, or you can sprint. You can hold R1 to sprint, and you sprint until your stamina is depleted. So let's sprint with Ruki until his stamina is done. You have to wait a couple of seconds to get your stamina back and recover it. Now, that's not the only way that you can sprint. As you can see, if we bring it back to Hedwyn, he can also sprint, though not as long as Ruki can. As for Jodariel, she's gigantic and slow-moving, and she can only sprint once, and she uses all of her stamina. But if she brings it into the Pyre, she beats the shit out of it. She did 30 damage there. Although, yeah, she isn't going to be here for a little while. Once you jump into the Pyre, you're banished until the end of the next round. So that there was the first round of combat that we just did. However, it's not as simple as just jumping into an unguarded Pyre. There are also 3 other people on the opposite side of the field who will attempt to keep you from jumping into the Pyre. Now you'll notice something, that this opponent of ours, this ghost-looking thing, he lost his aura, this blue/green thing underneath him, when he picked up the ball. In order to keep the ball in your hands, you have to have your aura up on the ball. It's how you hover it. So, if someone defends by walking into you with their aura, you'll get banished. Not infinitely, for a small period of time. But, yeah, so basically don't let people run into you. It's not that simple, though, either, because, well, you can also cast your aura from afar, like this. And you can basically destroy them as long as they get hit by it. So let's banish this one. When you see it flash like that, the aura, that means that it is going to move faster if you cast it within a certain amount of time of it flashing. So it moves slowly if you don't. So like, let's say you just do, oh, it won't let me. But basically when it flashes, you'll be able to cast it faster than usual.
The orb absorbs the aura, then the orb quenches the flame.
Alright, so now they've moved into a defensive formation, so we're not going to be able to walk it in like we did previously. So instead of that, we're going to try to jump into it, like this. And jumping, as you can see there, allows you to get over any auras on the ground. Auras cannot go into the air in this game. So, yeah. Like you can see there, Ruki was able to jump over that gigantic aura, despite the fact that it was on the ground in front of him, because he jumped over it. So, yeah, as long as you're not... So as long as you're in the air, you can get over most auras. It kind of depends, but we'll talk more about that later. In the meantime, we have extinguished the adversary's Pyre.
Now you understand.
So I hope I gave you a general gist of what combat's going to look like in this. If I haven't, let me know. I'll try to explain a little bit more. But that's the battle mechanics in a nutshell.
Cast down your hope. But all those such as you never listen.
Well, he's got a point there. got me caught red-handed with that one. So that's the battle mechanics of the game. And, well, if it wasn't incredibly clear at this point, the game's graphical fidelity is fucking gorgeous. Like, this game is goddamn incredible with the graphical fidelity of it. It's kind of on the same level as Tetris Effect for me. It's probably one of my favorite looking games that I've ever played. Not in the same sense that Devil May Cry 5 is, where it's super realistic, but in the way that this is super stylized and will withstand the test of time because the graphics are so mesmerizing. Are you guys okay? You sort of shrank down to the size of a pebble for a second. I think, unless you were just casting your minds into the book. That's what the book said. Yeah. Oh, okay, good. It's practically nightfall. Excuse me. I don't know what howlers are, but they don't sound like they're very friendly, so I will see what I can do about these rites. The rites, as we heard in the book, are an ancient ritual competition through which the worthiest exiles regain their freedom. The 8 scribes gave their freedom so that we may yet have ours. A prayer from the Book of Rites. So these 8 scribes might still be down here then. They might be worth investigating. But for now, let's investigate the stars. Let's see what we got here. Never really one for stargazing, but I'll give it a shot. So, Caprias, the Olden Star, doesn't look particularly bright in the sky. This one, however, does look bright in the sky. Gull, the South Star. The South Star burns bright over a massive ridge of stone, much farther than the naked eye can see. Well, it's a good thing we have it to guide us, then. Whoa. What do you suppose that was? A vision, I suppose. Don't know if it was ominous or not, but... The Ridge of Gull, huh? According to the stars, the next rite shall soon commence here. The fossil remains of the serpent Titan, slain by Gull Gullathanian, yet loom over those living in its shadow. So, maybe he's not still here, but he killed a gigantic snake before he left. Great. Soon? Yeah, quite soon. No time to lose. So let's get some sleep and then go. What does she say? I'm almost afraid to listen. Look, you guys patched me up. I got no reason to deceive you, okay? I think we can only get out of here if we mutually cooperate, so I'm down for that as long as you are. Okay, thanks. Alright then. Yeah, this is a bit to take in. I guess we'll work on it in stride, won't we? Let's join them in the black wagon before the howlers come get us. I guess we're not taking a moment to rest. We're going to let the black wagon move and jump, apparently, in the middle of the night. Fantastic. So do we take turns making our way to the downside prairie, or what? Yeah, like I said, goddamn gorgeous, this game. Incredible looking. I love it. It's fantastic. Gen Z, I believe, is the artist that Supergiant has doing all of their stuff, and she's fucking incredible, man. It looks like a painting come to life every time. So, yeah, very pretty. Surprising, considering we're basically in hell, but, you know. The Downside Prairie is one of the Downside's only verdant regions. It only gets less hospitable as you press further north. Here, I thought the sands that they found me in were bad. Nice shirt, Rookie. I guess that's your normal attire outside of the, outside of your rights raiments. Fair enough. An associate in Hollow Route, huh? So Hollow Route is the northern route to the Ridge of Gaul, and it goes through a small exile encampment. Every so often, tempests come and scour away the huts and hovels, but they always crop back up. Yeah, fair enough. But Jodariel wants to go to Blooming Pool to avoid attention. Blooming Pool is the southern route to the Ridge of Gaul, and it goes through a humid area pocked with hot springs. Runoff from the sandfolds means no bathing in the springs, so they're just there to mock you. I don't think I like the idea of them mocking me. I also don't like that either, so... Oh look, he's got some new information here. So when an old term lights up like that again, it lit up before I hovered over it. That means that there's new information in the little blurb that they show you. So Hedwyn, we have a little more info on him now. He wanders the downside in search of a way to regain his freedom and return to his home. I mean, that's most of us, so not too much different, but fair enough. You want me to figure out where we're going? I mean, if you want to put that kind of pressure on me, even though we just met, I'm down for it, but are you sure? Okay. Fair enough. I will try not to let any of you down. Alright, so let's weigh the options for it here. In case it wasn't clear by all of the stuff that's been going on with the talking and the choice making and all of that stuff, this game is a visual novel with strange battle mechanics by comparison to most games, with basically a small sports game as its battle mechanics. It's also my favorite visual novel of all time, and I hope by the time I'm done with this project, you'll know why I was getting so pissed at Danganronpa by the third stream, because this game blows that fucker out of the water. But I'm gonna try not to hype it up too much. I'll let the game speak for itself, so let's take a look at our options. So the north route, Hollow Route, and Rookie knows someone here who owes him, so that might get us something. And then there's Blooming Pool, which is the southern route, but Jodariel thinks she can find rare flora here despite the chance of us getting stuck in a bog. Not to try to get on Jodariel's bad side, but Rookie's kind of been a little chummier since we got here, so I think we'll go up north. I especially don't want to get stuck in a bog, so yeah. I will take a risk at getting on the gigantic woman's bad side in favor of a slightly easier route, yes. Don't know if it's a good idea, but I'm going to give it a shot. Alright, let's take a look at who owes Rookie here. So, he is an opportunistic and well-connected cur, still clinging to his once comfortable lifestyle. Cur, by the way, is the name of his race, just in case that wasn't clear yet. It probably wasn't, but yeah, so there are humans, although they're called nomads. Hedwyn and the player, for example, are nomads. At least, that's my opinion anyway. I don't know if the player can be considered to be a number of different races, but their features make them seem like a nomad. Rookie's a cur, and Jodariel is Something else. We'll get there. Oh, well, what'd you get? We got a plain parcel, a trade item that can be sold at the slug market. Certain types of luxury goods somehow find their way down to the downside, and apparently this luxury good is worth 30 sol. Sol is the currency of the game, so, alright. I don't know what's inside, but I don't think I should open it. It's probably worth more closed up like this, so on we go. So yeah, occasionally throughout the story you'll have a choice of where you can go on the way to the rights, and you'll get different things depending on where you go. In this case, it doesn't matter which direction you go, you'll still get something worth 30 sol. So, it was more of just a tutorial. Alright, we're at the Ridge of Gull. It's still smoldering from the nostrils. I'm glad Gull killed it, but it seems like whatever it had in its throat and or stomach is still burning. Great. Alright, so they gotta prep for the right. And we have a little bit of work to do because we have a new page revealed in the book. So let's go in here. We can move into the black wagon whenever there's... Well, you can do it whenever on this screen just by pressing triangle. But when there's 3 dots there, it means someone is waiting to talk to you there. And there might be other information, like a new page. Oh, okay, well, Ruki's here to talk to me. We also have a few little adornments around the black wagon that weren't here before, like, for example, the Greentail family portrait, which shows him, his mother, and his uncle. Interesting. Ruki, do you need something more comfortable to sit on? That box doesn't look comfortable. That's how he ends up as tall as everyone else in these portrait sections, by the way. He sits on a box. So, there you go. I just always thought that was a cool little detail. I don't know why. It seems kind of funny to me. It's appropriate, obviously, but funny anyway. I mean, we could have, but... I mean, okay, listen, don't drag me into this. I just picked the route that I thought would be the least resistance, okay? I didn't mean to get on anybody's bad side here. So Jodario, we have more information. She is a grim... No shit. Longtime resident of the downside, grown accustomed to surviving there. Fair enough. Yeah, you guys have got the rights to get ready for, right? So I'll just muck around in here, see what I can find, and I'll meet you out there in a little bit. Speaking of which, I found another adornment. Headwind's cooking tins. What passes for cooking supplies on the downside. Headwind does most of the cooking. Fair enough. Better hope he doesn't ever give those to me. I'll cook him out of house and home. Actually, I probably won't because I don't know what qualifies as food down here all that much. So I guess we'll figure that out later. Here's the intricate sigil. They set this down when the rites begin. So there you go. I believe, yeah, Jodario has a throw rug here. It was fashioned from a howler's hide. Yeah, I would say that sends someone a clear message, as in, get the fuck out of here. As for this person, unresponsive but seems to be alive. Are you okay over there, man? Excuse me. He's got a lute, maybe? That's what it looks like in his hand. Seems inopportune to ask him if he's alive right now. Okay, well, fair enough. So the common room is where all your exiles hang out before you go into the rites and whenever you're just taking a break in the black wagon. So let's take a look at it before we look at the book, shall we? And yeah, we can get some notes about who they are, what we know about them so far, and how they do in battle. So let's take a look. So there's our current blurb about Headwind, and then there's another one for Jodario, and another one for Ruki. These, I will read these, but I won't read them right now. Eventually, they'll get filled in with more information, and I'll read them when we get more information telling us who they are, where they came from, what their crimes were to come down here, and all of that sort of stuff. But that, however, is not all of the information that you can glean from this section. We've got the stuff up here in the top. First is the Enlightenment bar. This is your experience bar, basically, and every time you reach a new rank, you gain a level. And when you gain a new level, you can go and get yourself a mastery. Now, we don't know what masteries are yet because we haven't gained a level, so we can't look at what they are, but we'll look at those in due time. You can also go over here to check out our cargo, and you can take cargo, and you can equip them on your exiles in order to get a small bonus out of it. Now, we don't have any talismans at the moment because, well, we haven't seen the slug market yet, so we haven't been able to trade for one yet, but we'll get there. Either way. Same thing with everybody else. As you can see here, Jodariel, well, first of all, she's a demon. We got that out of the information here. Her race is no longer human. So people who survive in exile for long enough to be transformed by it, in body, if not in spirit. And the blurb about this one says, "All are welcome here, save demons such as you." And that was a quote from the sentencing of Chief Physician Oralek. Were there demons on the surface too, or did they just end up being demons? Questions for later. Point is, yeah, so now we know Jodariel's a demon. There we go. There's Kerr for Rookie. And then we've got Nomad is the name of the most human-like race in the game for Head. They've also got stats that I guess I should have mentioned up in the corner there, and we can check those out right now. They don't really change in terms of their function over the course of the game, though you can make them a little bit higher with equipment, talismans, masteries, and other such things. So, Glory describes how much damage you'll deal to a Pyre. In this case, Hedwyn deals 20 damage when he takes the plunge. Presence tells you how big his aura is. It's kind of not really something that you really... Like, ideally, the things that you want to make larger in this game are glory and quickness. Presence and hope, they're okay, but not really something you should really focus on, in my opinion. Not in most cases, anyway. We'll talk about that when we get to Jodariel. Because in Jodariel's case, her aura size is, well, looming. It's a 7-meter diameter, which is fucking huge. It's the largest one in the entire game. So in her case, it's worth actually increasing her presence because then her aura is larger. She can tackle people and, banish them from a longer distance. But yeah, we'll get there. Hope describes how long you are banished when your opponent banishes you. If you plunge into the pyre, you're banished until the end of the round. But if you get banished by your opponents running into you or casting their aura at you, this determines how long it takes you to come back. As you can see in this case, Jodariel takes forever to return. By the time those 11 seconds are up, the round is basically going to be over. So don't let her get banished if you can afford not to. As for quickness, it's how fast you are. Again, Jodariel is gigantic, so she doesn't really move very quickly, but her presence makes up for that because she's got humongous presence by comparison to someone like Rookie, who moves really fast and has pretty good hope. He comes back in a little less than 6 seconds, but has almost no presence. His aura is very small. And he deals 15 damage to a pyre. Jodariel, we saw that in the beginning, she deals 30, and Hedwyn deals 20. So yeah, a lot of technical stuff, but I wouldn't worry too much about that stuff. A lot of it kind of becomes something that you get used to over time, but I figured I'd just give you a quick rundown on it while we're here doing all the tutorial stuff. As for the Book of Rites, well, I was told that I've got a new page in here, so let's take a look. We do have a new page, the first exile. So we've already read the foreword, and you can go back to it if you want, just by going like this. So there's the foreword to tell us what to do and where to go. Now this one talks about the first exile. And this chapter is in the words of Gol Golathanian, the Master General. You know perhaps the thrice-cursed name of Solium Mur, the Emperor of Sar, the first exile, and my liege. This chapter concerns him and those who found him in the downside. Each of us was sent to take his life. Such was the hatred for him in and around his country. Yet we found in Solium Mur a man transformed, in body, mind, and spirit. A man deserving of much more than mercy. It's a bit of a 180, isn't it, considering they were sent down there to kill him? In time, he named us all his scribes, and he became the 8th. It is my greatest honor now to share with you his deeds. To know his story is to know the rights. Unfortunately, we won't get any more from Gol for a little while here because, this book is apparently written in invisible ink. If I try to go to other pages, there will be nothing on them. As a matter of fact, I'm trying at the moment by pressing the R1 button to go to another page, but there's nothing to be had, so. I don't know if that's normal. I'm going to have to ask someone else down here who can derive meaning from text if that's normal at some point, but for now, that's all we can get out of the book, so. Let's take our opportunity to take a drink before I go into the smoldering embers of the Ridge of Gol, and then we can commence the rite. We're at the Celestial Landmark. Let's prepare for our first true trial. So, is it gonna just be us here? Are we expected to do like a scrimmage or something for the favor of the gods, or are there other people coming? That's what I'm starting to think. Okay, wait a minute, hold on. The stars told me to come here. I don't get any ideas here, Joe Dario. That's all I know. Oh, hang on. The stars are doing something funky. Let's see. Oh, that looks familiar. And that even more so. Well, that's probably a good sign. Let's find out. Can't even watch at the moment. Annoying IT problem for a customer. Oh, that's okay, Marie. Take care of all that stuff first, and then we'll, you can come in and take a look. So.
The stars align at last.
They do, voice man.
You reach the Ridge of Gaul at the appointed time, and your triumvirate is ready.
Ready for what exactly?
Your adversaries in the rites this eve shall be the accusers.
What did they accuse us of?
Whosever pyre yet burns once the other is extinguished shall step closer to freedom.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, there they are.
Now let the rites commence.
Was wondering when you guys were gonna show up. So, I like to think that the reader is kind of sitting up on the hill up here. Like before, when we were in the book there, taking the tutorial, we were kind of watching them in the book, but here, this is an actual battlefield that they've set the sigil in. It's real sized, and we're just kind of sitting up here cheering them on, so that's what I like to think anyway. Excuse me. Only good news so far is that you've been shortlisted for a hybrid remote interview, and if it pans out, it means another $5 an hour. Okay, well, that's a decent upgrade then. Hopefully the job is easier than your current one, if that's... I mean, I know it's $5 extra an hour. Usually they don't pay more for less complex jobs, but good luck with it regardless. Hopefully it goes well for you. Yeah, they're clad in the raiments all right, but their raiments look a little different from ours. I'm ready. What about all of you? And who is this broad? Not a broad, but person. Different person. The Nightwings, huh? The name of a triumvirate in blue. It seems your fellow exiles have assumed their identity. See, the wording there makes me feel a little sketchy again. They've assumed the identity. What happened to the old Nightwings? Oh boy. Maybe they died? Am I supposed to know who you are, Lendl? He's the apparent leader of the exile triumvirate you encountered at the Ridge of Gaul. That doesn't really tell me a whole lot, but maybe my friends have seen him before? I say friends tentatively, knowing that they may have killed the last people that wore these robes. Oh boy. Anyway, he is the leader of the accusers, the exile triumvirate clad in gold. Their leader harbors ill will for something he thinks you did. Yeah, about that. Well, let's see if we can help them when the battle is real and life-sized rather than imaginary and in a book. Alright, you three, let's do this. So here's the first real test. And I say that kind of tentatively because it's really not that difficult. I'm gonna say that and then they're gonna fucking destroy me, but you know. It's probably okay. Rookie's a good offensive runner, by the way, so I usually like to have him kind of move up quickly because then he can kind of take control of things a little bit easier if he does that, so okay. I wasn't sure if I was gonna make it there, but okay, fair enough. For now, it's probably for the best to play offense more than defense, just because these first few battles aren't really that difficult. It's more of an extended tutorial for you, so yeah. Oh, okay.
It seems that you have flustered the accusers.
Yeah, to the point where they won't even let me in. Well, we could run circles around them, or...
Have you any idea what that Lendl did to deserve his exile?
Nope. Not a clue. Alright, so, It's going to be kind of hard to jump in at the moment. I mean, you can do it. It's just, it takes a little bit to sprint over and then make sure you line it up correctly. But if you don't want to do that, you can kind of line yourself up a little bit and you can fling the orb remotely. Sort of like passing, but in reality you're shooting, basically. So think of it like basketball. Their sigil is a hoop, and you can throw the ball like this. You can charge it up by holding square, aim it with the left analog stick, and then shoot. Now what this will do is it'll do damage to their Pyre, but in addition to that, there is no banishment on your side of the field. So shooting is actually really good. It helps quite a bit with keeping your triumvirate from being banished in a less appropriate manner, basically. So if you can shoot, it's probably a good idea to do so. If they're just going to give me an opportunity to run circles around them, though, then I won't need to shoot, but yeah, shooting is pretty good. It's my preferred method of attacking, if I'm honest, but not always necessary, as you can see. Sweet. Would you say Noxalis? I'll remember that for next time. Fair enough. Good work, everybody. A hollow victory? More like you let me win, man. Like you guys were playing poor out there. Sure. Wonder what got stuck up his ass the last time they met him. I wonder if we'll ever find out. Okay, so after each rite, you'll gain enlightenment. It's the experience points of the game, like I said before. And every time you meet a certain amount of enlightenment, for example, in this case, Jodariel has exceeded 1,000 enlightenment, she gains access to her next rank. And yeah, tonight was a little bit crazy and strange, but it's about to get crazier and stranger because now you can choose a mastery from a list of a whole bunch of them. So there are two different sides to everyone's masteries. In this case, Jodariel, being a demon, follows the sins of the fallen emperor or the boons of the first exile. All of the masteries she can gain are things that Solia Mur taught to the demons of the downside at some point, or is teaching now, remotely, I guess you could say. So, different sides to the same coin here. They're all very palpable, by the way. The vast majority of these masteries you will feel almost immediately when you pick them up, so they're not like small passive bonuses. As an example, the first rank of the sins here on the left side for Jodariel allow her to use her rush 2 times before she runs out of stamina. This changes the game very much for Jodariel because now she can basically rush to halfway across the court without having to lose all of her stamina. It makes her much faster, and it's definitely well worth getting. But before we get that one, let's look at what else we can get instead. There's also this one, which again, all of these are palpable. None of them are bad. There are very few of them that are bad, and usually you can skip around them because they're these middle-ranked ones. But like I said, our choices now are between Long Stride and Relentless Vigor, which allows Jodariel to instantly recover all of her stamina when she vanquishes an adversary. And I'll be picking both of these, actually, at some point, because you can kind of mix and match if you want. You don't have to choose one side and go double down on all 4 of them if you want. You can kind of pick and choose a few. So in my case, we'll start over here. We'll pick up Long Stride. That'll allow her to move a lot faster around the battlefield. And then we'll work on the other side after that for her. As for Ruki and Headwind, they didn't gain enough enlightenment to get their next rank, so they'll work on that the next time we fight somebody. But in the meantime, the accusers are gone, so I guess we won't be getting any more enlightenment out of them. So let's rest a moment, shall we? Since they're giving us the opportunity. And I apologize if I've been going pretty slow with this. A lot of this is probably pretty self-explanatory, if I'm honest, but I figure since the game's kind of giving us an extended tutorial, let's let it do that, even if it's going to take me an extra, what's it been, like 40 minutes since we started playing at this point, so. But things will pick up, because it's not going to be as simple as the last 2 times for the rest of the game. I'll just clue you in on that. Anyway, yeah, I guess we're in. I hope we're in the Getting Out of Here club, so I guess the only way to find out is to chase the stars and see where they lead us.
Concealte vidias.
Until we are free. And, yeah, probably better than somebody who's bent on revenge, because Lendl the Liar doesn't seem like the kind of person that you'd want to let out of here. He's the cold-mannered head of the accusers and bears an old grudge against the Nightwings, even though it doesn't seem like we know him, unless my friends are just, like, not telling me something. Which I suppose could be the case. I mean, we are all criminals, but are we all criminals for a good reason or not? Let's find out. Alright, Hedwyn, fair enough. It's probably better that we, go walking in case the Howlers come by and decide they want to say hello. I mean, I do have questions, that's fair. Alright, so Hedwyn gives you a list of questions. And you can pick any of these 4, but only one of them will be answered. So, let's take a look. You could get all of this information out of him, but you'd have to do it on separate playthroughs, basically, so... You could ask why he's exiled. He already knows why I'm exiled, so I suppose it's only fair that we talk about that. We could ask how they got the wagon. I'm pretty sure this I've kind of already made clear. I'm kind of crippled in this case. My legs were broken on the way down here, so that's why we can't participate. And yeah, my participation doesn't seem to be optional, but I think I know what happens if I refuse to help. None of us get out of here, and, well, potentially worse things, depending on how criminal my friends here are. Let's ask why he was exiled. Again, I know why I'm down here, and I've told all of them that, so I guess it's only fair. I don't know if it's a good question necessarily, because I don't know how taboo it is to ask what are you in for when you're in hell, but, well, fair enough. Alright, Hedwyn, I'll take you up on that offer. Let's see what star beckons us next. Well, Goal's still looking... I mean, it's faint, but it's not, like, out of the ordinary, like Geminian, the Olden star over here. There are a ton of old stars, by the way, all across the sky that you can take a look at. Most of the ones that are fading or olden like this are birth stars. So sort of like the horoscopes of the modern world, basically. So you have like Taurus, Scorpio, Gemini, that sort of thing. A lot of these kind of have a counterpart in the real world. For example, Scorpus here is like Scorpio in the real world. Although I'm not sure if Scorpio in the real world makes people wiser. If people who are born under it are considered wiser. I'd have to look that one up. But the stars we're concerned about are these sorts of ones, the ones that are named after the 8 scribes, as it turns out. The next one is Jamur, the Dusk Star, and it's burning over an ancient spring in the Jamur Valley, so let's take a look at where we're headed next. That looks a little ghastly. Feel sorry for that scorpion guy, but I don't think I should, actually. Alright, well, if you need me to help with repairs, I'm not sure how much help I can be since I'm essentially wheelchair-bound at the moment, but, Okay, good. Sounds like we're moving out, team. At dawn. Yeah, we should probably get some rest since we didn't sleep last night very much, so... Or we took turns. So yeah, the Spring of Jamur is where we're going next. And the Alpha Chief, who is named Jamur, hoped bathing here would cure his ailments, but it only made him itch. Well, that's unfortunate. The Alpha Chief is the Cur god, basically. So Gaul, who slayed the giant titan thing here, is the Nomad god, and Jamur is the Cur god. There's one god for every, or one scribe, essentially. They're kind of like gods. There's one scribe for every tribe, except for one, but we'll get there. Rookie, what's up? Good job in the rights there, man. What you got going on? Well, I imagine sometimes it's a little bit samey to talk to the same 2 people all the time. Oh, okay, sure, what's up? Rookie, listen, man. You've been chummy so far, you don't gotta hesitate, lay it on me. What? This must be really personal to you if you're having trouble. You don't seem like the type that would have a hard time finding the words. Nothing personal meant by that, but just saying. What about your mustache? Conflicting reports about a bit of hair? What? No, come on, Rookie, listen to me. Okay, look. Every single cur has their own smaller mustache, but you have this one here. Come on, man, don't think anything of those rumors. It just makes you look distinguished, okay? It's fine. You look good with it, alright? That's all. If you suggest that it makes him look a little unscrupulous, like he said, he'll actually shave it off and it'll be gone for the rest of the game in his portrait. But I think it looks good on him, to be fair. Well, don't think anything of it, Rookie, and don't think anything of it if somebody says something bad about it later either, so. And for answering Rookie's question honestly, you get +1 hope on his stats for the next right. So yeah, sometimes those choices will actually make a small difference in the next right. It'll give them a small bonus depending on what happens. If you tell him to shave it off, he still gets +1 hope for the next right. But if you say nothing, that's when he doesn't get any bonuses. As a matter of fact, I think he loses hope because he's like, I asked you for an opinion and you kind of bailed on me. So yeah, usually it's better to answer honestly rather than saying nothing in those cases, unless you're trying to make the game harder on yourself, which, yeah, fair play. Did we get a new page? We did not. Okay. I usually try to check the book every time I come into the Black Wagon, just in case, because you never know when you get a new page if something comes up. Oh, that was just the dust moving. Okay. I was trying to see if there's anything over there, but nope. Alright. First light, let's head to Jamur Valley, shall we? And Rookie knows this mountain pass through to an arid region further north. Alright, well, fair enough, Rookie. You guided us to the plain parcel before. Why don't you guide us into the valley? Off we go. To our next destination, Jamur Valley. Oh, good, more desert. Fantastic. Just what I wanted to see on the other end of that ridge. Hot and uncomfortable, yeah, you could say that. Exiled curs roam the sand-swept fossil wastelands of Jamur Valley. Among the 8 scribes, the Alpha Chief Jamur Manymane took a special liking to this region, probably because of how open it is. Oh, good. We're hot, we're uncomfortable, and what else? Oh, well, that's just great. Hello. How did she slip under Jotario's view? She looks innocent enough, but... I was gonna say, guys, are you sure about that? She's a kid. I'm gonna stand back for this one. I don't want any part in this. Okay, well, that's the opposite of what I thought was about to happen, so fair enough. I guess she's coming with us. You too, I guess. So the 8 scribes, we've been talking about them a little bit. Let's learn more about them. So some revere the 8 scribes as gods, believing they bound themselves to exile so that others could live free, like the little edict and prayer said, so. Yeah, you passed by a band of 4 adepts complaining profusely. Yeah, well, something like that. It's about to be 5, considering how hot it is here. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Centuries of oral tradition have shaped the history of the 8 scribes into myth and legend. Not godhood, necessarily. We'll talk about that later. In any case, we have this girl now to take care of, so hopefully Hedwyn can manage the provisions well enough. I mean, if they help, I don't see why not. Who's he? Sandalwood, huh? I was gonna say, are you guys gonna play the pronoun game with me? Well, kind of, because Sandalwood, the apparent name of some mysterious informant of Hedwyn, Jodario, and Rookie. Let's hope his intentions are good, because otherwise, I don't know. I mean, she's a little bit of a different breed than Hedwyn, though, Rookie. She's a different race entirely, but we'll get there. Probably true, actually, and it's probably best that we don't draw too much attention to ourselves. And also, it's hot, and she's thirsty and tired, so let's take her in, shall we? You don't know your name? Oh. Well, that's mean of them. Rookie would feel a little bit uncertain about that, considering his hair color, wouldn't he? Your name rhymes with gray. Okay. Now you can name the moon-touched girl here. She has, I think, 14 possible names, so I'll go through them and let everybody look at them, and you can tell me which one you like the best, because we'll just let everyone else name her. GS2 in a nutshell. Yeah, fair enough. 4 adepts complaining profusely. Hi, Cole. I can't get change for you right now. Okay. It's downstairs in the fridge there. Alright, so we have names for the Moon-Touched Girl. Any takers on a name on this page? There are other possibilities that we can take a look at, but if anybody has a name that they see here that they're like, yes, that's gotta be it, let me know. Otherwise, I'll move to the next page. There's a couple on this page that I personally like, but, well, we'll go from there. Sephigo wants to see the other page. Nice one. Alright, let's look at the other page. Here are the other names that you could choose for her. Please don't choose this one. We don't even know her yet. We can't know for sure. Like, I'm making a veto of this one if it's chosen, so. Sephico says J. Why are you J? Oh, boy. I don't know if Marie can actually watch at the moment, so I suppose I could say the names out loud so Marie can make a decision. So we can vote. So the first page, the names that we have available for the girl, they all rhyme with gray. That was our only hint. So we have May, Kay, Faye, Day, Zay, Shay, Ray, let me not accidentally pick one, Lay, also Shay but with a C, Nay, Tay, Zay but with a ZH, J, and that one. You vote Faye, but damn Bay was instantly vetoed. It sure was. Again, we don't even know her. We can't tell if she is. So there's connotations to that name that I do not like. So we have J. Sephigo, was that a real one, or was that a pun there that you said J? Was that a real suggestion? And Marie says Faye. So she needs development before becoming Bay. Yeah, there you go. So J is your pick. Okay, so we have J and Faye. I'll use random number picker. How about that? Let me turn chat off on my phone for 1 second. We'll use one or the other of those. Random.org. We'll use that from before. .org. Okay, so we only have 2 choices, so it should be pretty easy here. So we have Faye and we have J. So yeah, Google flip a coin, basically. That's what we're doing. You know what? I'll do that instead of random.org. How about that? Flip a coin. Or don't. I'll type it in then. Fine. Are you happy? Preparing to flip. Flipping. The flip says tails, so J it is. Faye was going to be heads, and J would be tails, so I just did it in alphabetical order. So there you go. Her name is going to be J, and it makes sense because J the Grey could be how her tormentors made light of her. They do start with the same letter, so. Not like back when you still used the Fantasia Wheel of Fate for 14. Yeah, fair enough. That probably was a more expensive flip than the one we just did. So J it is. I personally prefer either May or Shay, personally, but it is what it is. Any of the names work, even that one. But, you know. So, this is her name now, J.
Vistalia.
Well, good. I'm glad that you agree. She'll agree with any name, by the way, even that one, so. And she is a young vagabond girl with an odd manner and an unshakable sense of curiosity. Excuse me. Yes, now she is GG. Actually, that's kind of funny because if you use her in battle to the point where she gets all of her masteries, she pretty much is GG, but we'll get there later. We'll keep the gray part out. We'll just call you Jay. How about that? Okay, young lady, I think instead of getting lightheaded from all of the happiness that you just endured, let's get you inside and, yeah, let you rest and get some food. Jay has joined our party. Let's welcome her aboard. And then continue on our way. It was just stupid. You would take month-long breaks from the game, come back, and immediately give them more money by using a Fantasia. You put all the racial and gender combos in it. You rolled nothing but female results. Is she okay? Well, she will be. They had to nurse her back to health, just like they had to nurse me back to health after I was found in the desert. So I guess in a way we have a little bit of kinship immediately. In our way? Yeah, I don't think that was an option. Okay, fair enough. Let's all get a little bit of rest then, shall we? But first, there's someone who wants to talk to me in the black way. Huh? It's Jay. What's up, Jay? You feeling okay now that Headwind got you some food and drink? It was a little touch and go for a second there. Yeah, I guess you could call it intuition. Oh, okay, cool. Wait, talking to the wagon? Oh. Okay, fair enough. Can she talk to wood? The wagon's her little brother. Alright, fair enough. Uh-huh. Well, I don't want to presume anything, but we could be your family until you find the rest of your family, if it makes any sense. Yeah, you could do that if you want. Just stay by Jodariel. She'll keep you safe. She's a bit of an odd one. It's okay, though. I feel like the she's a bit of an odd one was the reason why people made fun of her back in the Commonwealth. But down here, it's like Hedwin said, we're all equal nothings, so we'll take it in stride. Did we get anything new in the book? I don't think so. Nope, not yet. All right, then. Back out we go. So let's consider our options while we're hanging out here for the day, because we're taking a rest so that Jay can recover. And, yeah, that means that we can, we had a little free time. And you know what that means. In a visual novel, free time means, well, free time. We get to do things. She's right about us seldom getting such moments of reprieve, though. If I had to levy one small criticism at the game, there's one big criticism I have for it, and we'll get into it later. We've already seen it once, but we'll talk about it when it actually becomes a problem. One of the small gripes I would levy against the game is that you really don't get enough free time in the game. There's like 10 instances, if I remember right, across the whole game. So, yeah, not a whole lot of free time. The game's moving at quite a clip most times. Yeah, I suppose that makes sense. We are kind of stuck down here, so might as well make the most of our time. So at certain junctures during the game, you can choose from several vocations, or ways in which you can make yourself useful during the occasional moments of free time. Let's see what time we can use here, and what we can do in the meantime. Okay, so there are 3 options whenever you have a vocational time. You can forage for resources. This will usually allow you to find valuables in the area, and you can add it to your goods, which will get you some money when you come across the slug market. We'll be getting to the slug market in just a little bit so we can sell that parcel. But I usually don't forage very often because money in this game is actually pretty plentiful, as you'll see later. So you can also study in private, which will allow you to hone your skills as a reader, and this will grant small global bonuses to your fellow exiles during the rites. This sounds really nice in theory, and it would be very good in practice if you could just affect the glory stat and the quickness stat. And you can affect the quickness stat, but only by +2. And in order to get access to the glory stat, which you can also give a +2 to everybody with, you have to study, I think, 6 times total. So +2 quickness, +2 presence, and +2 hope, and only then will the +2 glory be revealed. So in order to get the most out of this, you have to study a total of 8 times out of potentially 10 to 12 vocation times throughout the entire game. For a comparatively small bonus, not really something that I find worth it. What I do find worth it is mentoring a companion in the ways of the scribes, and this will raise their individual rank in the rites much quicker than they would otherwise. I'll give you an example. Let's mentor a companion. So, we can take some of the knowledge we've gained and impart it on some of our friends. Each exile's path toward enlightenment is personal, so you have to mentor them one at a time, but when you mentor them in the rites, as you'll see in a moment, so let's take a look at their enlightenment before we start this. So Hedwyn's currently at 750 total enlightenment. He's almost to rank 2. Jodariel's at 1250, and Ruki's at 600. When you mentor somebody in the rites, well, this happens. Let's see what we can do to glean some of this knowledge to you, Hedwyn. I'll have you reading some letters soon. Probably not, but I'll do the best I can. Alright, so let's give him a little bit of imparted knowledge, and when he gets that, he gains 1,000 enlightenment. That is 1/8 of the maximum amount of enlightenment that you need to max out the bar. So you can take someone from 0 to maximum just through doing these private lessons with them. And it's actually very useful for something else, but we'll get into that later when we're actually trying to think about who has the most enlightenment and what we can do with them. But we'll give it to Hedwyn for right now. Well, I'm glad you're understanding something of it, Hedwyn, because now we can choose a mastery for you. The scribe in the background should look familiar because Hedwyn, as a nomad, is affected by Gaul Galathanian. That's the scribe that he gains favor from. So his 2 mastery paths are the Marks of the Master General or the Bonds of the Saurian Legion. And let's take a look at them. The Marks path makes him a little bit better of an attacker, and the Bonds path makes him a little bit better of a supporter. So let's take a look here. This gets him 50% more stamina. It lets him jump and sprint more often. He's not the fastest guy, but it does give him a little bit of an edge over other nomads that you'll come across in our adventures. There's also this, which allows the cooldown on stamina to be much smaller when Hedwyn is included in your party. They're both pretty good. I'll probably take both of them if I'm being honest with you at some point. I just need to think about which other ones I might want to work on first. This side, again, they all make a pretty solid difference. Like if you take a look at this side, you can kind of take him up one of these here. But you get to this mastery down here, and he basically has a Nosferatu effect, a leeching HP effect for your Pyre whenever he douses the adversary's Pyre once he gets to this rank. It's pretty nuts, actually. It's not something that you get from items until much later in the game, but yeah, he works pretty good. Either way, I think I'll take martial training to start with him. I think I want to get shoulder smash, but I'm not 100% sure about that. I might end up just taking the first 2, and then I'll work on the path after that. What are these other ones, anyway? Yeah, that's actually pretty good, too. Also pretty good. And then, yeah, that one's okay. I don't know if it's really something I'd want all that badly. It's not bad, but Banishing Adversaries, it's okay. It's just not incredible. I'll take Tenacity, actually. Make him a little bit of a supporter. You're welcome, Hedwyn. Let's see how that new little lesson that we gave you will affect your ability to fight in battle. Once we get to the battle, we have to pick a path first, so... because there's another split in the path. Apparently Jay wants to go on both of the routes and has something to do on either one, so... So let's have a look. We have the Glue Hive, the North Path, and it passes through the remains of the Hive Titan. I'm guessing Jamur had something to do with his death. Jay believes that those who travel this path shall be as strong as Gaul of the 8 scribes, or the Fall Flat, which is the south route, and it is riddled with barren rock and bone. If we pass through here, though, we'll be as swift as Jamur. So you have to decide what you want out of this. You either get, I think this one increases your glory, if I remember correctly, and this one increases your quickness. I think I'll do quickness, actually, because it lets me run past my opponents a little bit better, which might be helpful, because if I remember right, our next opponents are pretty fleet of foot, so... Stranger than usual, huh? Oh boy. Even the wild curs of the valley avoid the oppressive heat of this place. Yeah, because there's nowhere to hide. It's a good thing we have a wagon. So what's going on, Jay? I mean, I can see the other curs here. I think you can feel more than we can feel. So now we get a little information on Jomuir Minimane. He was the 6th of the 8 scribes of the Book of Rites. He's also known as Jomuir the Brave, or the Alpha Chief. And the Alpha Chief that united the Curs under a single banner and charted half of the known world apparently ran here at some point, and this was one of his favorite spots. That's cool. It probably was the day's rest, but I mean, we can attribute it to Jay and her musings. Anyway, you get +1 quickness for the next rite, so that's good. Not a huge bonus, but it might make a difference between, us not getting around somebody and us actually making it. Ghastly looking place, I'll tell you what. Excuse me. Oh, okay, apparently we can take a look at the slug market now. It's a crude trading post found in the downside. The Commonwealth contraband that sometimes finds its way to the downside is traded and sold here, so we'll see what we can do about that. We have a parcel that we can take to it now. So we also have somebody to talk to us and a page revealed in the book, The Last Emperor. So we'll let's go do that first, then we'll look at the slug market after that. So, oh, Hedwyn, what's up? You cleaning up after dinner, or you got something on your mind? It's probably the latter. Yeah, I didn't know if it was an appropriate question, but I figured since you knew what I did, it only made sense. I didn't want to be too intrusive. I guess this is still kind of intrusive, isn't it? The Blood Border, huh? Blood Border is the northern edge of the Commonwealth. It's a flat and vulnerable expanse. The Highwing remnants seized upon it at every opportunity, from the cover of clouds or darkness. Who are the Highwing remnants? Well, they are a contingency of harps, a winged race, also known as the Highwing remnants, and they're at war with the Commonwealth. Great. They are as coarse as their feathers. They hold themselves superior. A quote from the Archjustice Androboles? Yeah, Androboles the Ninth. What a name. Oh, okay, so you were sort of like the first responder when they jumped on us. No alarm? Well, what happened? Oh. You were with one of the harps? Why? Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I could see how that would be an appropriate name for if they were accusing you of something. Well, that sucks. Sorry to hear that. I didn't mean to dredge up old wounds, Edwin. Sorry if it did that, but... Well, listen, I don't think that makes a difference. It's like you said, we're all equal nothings down here. Fair enough, we can make our way forward with more positive light, so... So, at certain points in the story, once the exiles feel appropriately to talk to you about their past, you'll get a roster bio update, and in this case, Hedwyn gets an update. So yeah, because we asked him what he did to get in here, we now get access to his bio, and we can see his astral sign, his crime, his motive, his years exiled, and then a biography about him that'll talk about who he is, where he came from, and what he's doing here. So, he was born under the Lenorial astral sign, so he's apparently devoted and faithful. Fair enough. His crime was desertion, left his friends behind without raising the alarm. Insurrection was his motive. I'm not so sure about that one. I think he just got a girlfriend, and he's been exiled for 5 years in the downside. All exile in the downside is a life sentence, by the way. There is no, like, okay, well, we'll rescue you after a certain amount of time. No, you're down here for life. It doesn't matter what you did. If they decide you go to the downside, you're fucked. So, yeah. As for Hedwyn's bio, while serving on the Blood Border, by chance, he had a run-in with a lone enemy harp. They each felt a powerful connection and escaped together rather than fight each other to the death as would have been expected. He lost contact with her after their encounter and left his post in search of her, but he was caught and exiled. In the downside, he found Jodario, who looked after him when he was a child. Okay, so apparently they knew each other. In time, he caught wind of an unbelievable rumor, and first heard the name of Sandalwood. And after much to do with this Sandalwood person, now he's here. Fair enough. So, yeah, we got a little bit of info on Hedwyn. 3 more now with Jay to go. And we also got a little more info in the book from Gaul, The Last Emperor. Let's take a look. How many nations did I scour in the name of Solium Mur? How many countries fell before our spears and blades? Such questions mattered less to me with every passing victory. Our legions swelled across the land, and our dominion grew. The Emperor Solium Mur paid all this little heed. He only tended to his personal affairs. Our legions relished the autonomy. We did not know that the Emperor cared nothing for his legions nor his people. He cared only for that which was before him. One day, he learned of such a thing as to befit his name, and vowed to seek it out. Well, that sounds ominous. I wonder what he learned of that would drive him to such a thing. He's still not moving. All right, fair enough. Sandalwood? Sandalwood shop? We shall see. But first, let's go to the slug market. Oh, okay, so I guess Ruki's already acquainted with this guy. Makes sense. Ruki looks like a merchant of some resolve himself. I mean, if I had to relate him to one, it'd probably be that Dominal guy from Dark Souls, but... well, we haven't played that for the stream yet. One day... This guy's name is Ron. He's a traveling sales creature and proprietor of the Downside Slug Market. Okay. Where's your normal trade route, Ron? Oh, okay, fair enough. What's up, Rookie? Oh, okay, cool. I'll see what I can do. He's one of those kinds of people that just kind of goes off at the mouth, isn't he? Anyway, we have a plain parcel. Ron will pay us 30 soul for it, so let's drag it on over and let him take it from us. I'll let Ruki do the bargaining for a little while then. Maybe I'll learn something of it as we go. In any case, it's not just a place that you can sell things. You can also buy things. As you can imagine, it's a store, so of course you can buy things. So the game, as a part of this tutorial, wants you to grab this Moon Crest. It's a rank 10 talisman, and the effect that it has, as you can see there, after being banished by an adversary, you might return immediately at a 30% chance. I'm not a huge fan of this one, to be honest, but I mean, it's better than nothing, so we'll take it off his hands for now. He's right, it is a one-of-a-kind thinger. The vast majority of the talismans that you get from Falcon Ron, you'll never see anywhere else in the game, so yeah, just take advantage of them where you can. And now we can go and equip the talisman by going to our roster down here. Probably going to be Jodariel, because her 11-second respawn timer being erased immediately, even if it's a 30% chance, is a pretty big boon, so... The downside full of its own little places and is literally only being separated by a shitty barrier or something. You're muted too long. So, the downside is effectively hell. The separation between here and the Commonwealth is it's basically like a second layer of the crust. Think of it like that. There's miles and miles of air between us and the Commonwealth from here. So it's there's a bit of a separation, and there's no way known to man thus far for us to escape. Other than the rights, but we still don't know how that's going to get us to freedom. So, yeah. That's how that works. Let's see who can wield the Moon Crest. Like I said, I'm going to give it to Jodariel because her hope is really low, so this giving her a chance to ignore her hope stat and just come back immediately, it will be a pretty big boon. So. Meanwhile, Ron's been talking this entire time. Fair enough, just let him talk. Well, let's take a look at what else he's got, Rookie, before we do that. So, because he's got a couple other things. Okay, that's a little too much. 200 soul for the Lunar Glass. I mean, it's a good talisman. It lets you move 10% faster than usual, and as you rank the talisman up later, it lets you move even faster, but... well, not for me right now. None of these are for me right now because I don't have enough soul for them. I would like to get both of the other two, though, the Ashen Coal and the Curfang. They're both pretty useful in their own right. The Ashen Coal gives you extra Pyre at the start of a rite, which is actually fairly useful, especially later when, well, you end up with less Pyre than normal. We'll just put it that way. And then the Curfang, it just lets you deal more damage when you plunge, which is always welcome. It makes you end a battle faster, so... See you, Ron. Thanks for the Moon Crest. I think. I'm not going to upgrade it, but it should come in handy for a little while anyway. So, wonder when we find a way to fuck over the Commonwealth and shatter that which separates the Commonwealth and the downside. Hopefully soon, because I'd like to get the hell out of here. Listen, this place is beautiful because Gen Z is an incredible artist, but like, I don't think I'd want to live here for the rest of my life. We haven't really encountered too much resistance, though, outside of the rites at the moment, but I'm sure that'll change eventually. Alright, let's start the next rite, shall we? What's up, Jay? Oh, nice. You got one of the Raymonds. Well, we can go home if we beat them in the rites. I thought you guys needed one person for each mask. I think she was going to do it no matter what. She's not one for following directions, this one. I like her already. Oh, okay. Let's take a look. Yep, that's our cue, team. Everybody get ready, because the rite is about to commence. And that's something, by the way, this tutorial message to keep in mind. You lose your aura when you have the orb. Voice Man!
What brings you to the spring of Jomir?
What do you think?
Why, it must have been the stars.
Yeah, no points for that one.
It seems that your triumvirate now numbers 4 exiles, not the expected 3.
More of a tetrumvirate now.
The rules of the rites were not created for you to besmirch.
I'm not exactly gonna leave a young girl in the desert to die, man.
The fate.
Okay, so the Fate are our next adversaries.
Of the scribes, and surely have been longing for this chance. But first, you have a choice to make.
I think I do, because the book says it has to be a triumvirate, so, well, we'll fix that. This one seems a little bit less accusatory, at the very least. So this is Dalbert Oldheart and his son Almer Oldheart. And Dalbert is an honorable old cur bent on upholding the sacred traditions of the rites with his son. He also has to stand on a box in order to be as tall as everyone else, because, well, if he didn't stand on the box, the text box would get in the way of his face. We don't want that. So here's his son, the dutiful foster son of Dalbert Oldheart, who is very protective of Dalbert above all else. Well, fair enough, he's a foster son. You take somebody in down here, that's a big ask. Resources are a little scarce here. Oh, well, thank you. That's surprising. I appreciate it. What do you got? A Tailwind Crest, the next talisman that we'll gain access to. This one's a pretty simple one. It just gives you extra quickness in battle, but the extra quickness can sometimes be a pretty big boon. For example, in this particular case, Dalbert is a cur, so he'll probably have a similar quickness stat to Ruki. But if we give the Tailwind Crest to Ruki, he'll be able to run a little faster than Dalbert and potentially get past him when we're trying to let him slip in and make a goal. So, thank you, Dalbert. I'll use that for a little while. He was caring of his foster father, sure. Okay, so this, by the way, is one of the reasons why I had Hedwyn do the private lesson there, because this time we can only have 3 people take on the rite, and in this particular case, he volunteers himself to actually sit out, and, well, despite the fact that it's my call, he did volunteer, so... Alright, let's see who we're going to take into battle with us. So yeah, now we have 4 people, but you can only ever pick 3 to go into the rite with you. So let's make a choice.
Now let us get started.
Alright, so in the center... Well, actually, you know what? Before we do that, let's take a look at this. I didn't look at this with the accusers, but you can also consider your adversaries when you're trying to figure out who you're going to take with you. So let's press the triangle button, and we can look at who we're fighting over here. It lets you see what masteries they have and what items they have equipped as well. So not a whole lot going on right now, because nobody's really at that high of an enlightenment value. And apparently this nomad has no name or face, but it's a nomad with very similar stats to Hedwyn, so that's pretty much all you need to know. This game is your kind of complicated. Yeah, it seems complicated from the outset, but honestly, it doesn't really get that complicated, all things considered. There is strategy to it.
Decide.
I'm working on it, Voice Man. Don't rush me. But, yeah, all things considered, you can play it pretty straightforward. I personally, when I play it, though, like to have my most defensive character in the center of the field. So in this case, it's Jodariel. Keep our goal guarded there, Jodariel. And then I usually like to have my more offensive characters on the sides because then they can kind of run circles around the enemies if they do that. Do I want to give Ruki the Tailwind Crest or do I want to give it to Jay? What's your quickness? 17. I'll give it to Jay because then she's as fast as Ruki, actually. We'll stick Ruki up on the top, though. You can press the square button, by the way, to choose people even without putting the cursor over choose, so in case you were wondering how I'm doing that. And Jay, you're up. Let's see what you got. I know he says gay, but I'm going to say J because I would prefer it being the soft G. So, welcome to Every Game by Sting Entertainment. Seriously, look up a single stage in Knights and Nightmare. Watch with no context. Tell me how much you understood. Great. Will do.
Very well.
It's alright, Hedwin. You can stay up here and help me cheer them on. I'm going to need some help because I still can't feel my legs. So I can't exactly jump up and down for them. Alright, Delbert, let's see what you can do. Okay. Oh, fairly straightforward one. Now remember, Jodariel has extra stamina to work with now, so she can be a little bit more offensive than she used to be. As for Jay, she's kind of similar to Hedwin, but also kind of not because she has to charge up a little bit before she moves and before she jumps. So it takes a little bit of getting used to. But, well, we'll get there.
Another banishment.
Just let Jodariel kind of do that. We'll let her stand on the ball. We'll let them go to the ball, and then Ruki go for it. But yeah, as you can see, Jodariel is very good defensively, simply because her aura is enormous. It's very difficult for any non-demon combatants to get in there. They can cast to her, but if you have her stand behind a rock, it's kind of hard for them to have her be cast, so... Oh, what kind of blessing do we have here? Ooh, what do you suppose that is? That is a Moondrop. Let's see what it does. After I take care of them. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Alright, so, Moondrops. As you can see, our stamina has jumped up because of the fact that we grabbed a Moondrop. Oop, that's not what I wanted to do.
What happened there?
Okay, don't want the ball yet. There we go.
Why, that was all of them.
Take the ball now, and go!
Jodariel's aim was true.
You can also release early when you're shooting, by the way, to make it so that you don't get banished, which is usually a pretty good idea. So. Oops, that's not what I want. Yeah, usually we don't want Jodariel to actually take the ball. We usually just want her to go to the ball and then give it to somebody else, so... Probably not going to be scoring a ton with her, but she's very good when it comes to just shooting. Now, as you can see there, she kind of couldn't do anything with the... The aura was larger because of the fact that the enemy was on top of her, basically. So, as a result of that, she kind of had a bit of a problem, but it's fine. We'll be alright. Okay. Where's the ball? Where's the ball? Well, come along, then. Nope.
Out with you all.
I ain't letting you get away with that. Okay. Oops. Okay. Go this way. Oh, Moondrop. Ah, my aim wasn't true again. Well, that's okay. I got around his aura, so that's the important part. Alright, let's see if we can finish them off, shall we? But yeah, see how when they're kind of stacked up like that, the aura is larger? It's as a result of them, well, stacking up. It increases the size of their aura. So you can't have that happen when you have the ball, but... Well, you know, it's fine. Nope, goodbye. And that's that.
It is done.
I usually don't have Jodariel scoring, but in this particular case, she was already slide tackling everybody, so... Noxalis!
I must say.
Thank you, voice man. I don't expect to get compliments from you usually, but fair enough. Good job, team! What do you mean you guess? Well, sure, but, I mean, if we want to get out of here, we have to win, right? I mean, we can't be second-guessing ourselves. I guess we didn't out on the battlefield, but, you know. So the Fate is an honorable triumvirate determined to uphold the traditions of the rights. They're led by the Kurd Albert Oldheart, with the help of his adopted son, the Savage, Almer the Helpless. Did they just come up with inappropriate names for every Savage? Because they did the same thing with Jay here. What kind of sacrificial bullshit is this game? Well, so you go to the Pyre, and you get banished for the next round. But you aren't banished forever. You come back. It's just a temporary thing. You're kind of like cleansing. I think the idea is that you're cleansing yourself of your sins by throwing yourself into flame. I guess it's a little morbid when you think about it, but fair enough. Well, I don't know about that. You guys are the second of the battle in the extended tutorial, so, you know. I don't know. I feel like even though you're the Fate, doing more than what you're ordained would probably make more sense. So Hedwyn got a little green bar there from sitting this one out. We'll talk about that in just a moment. In the meantime, Rookie got a rank. Let's see what you can learn there, Rookie. So Rookie's masteries all come from Jamur Manymane, as you can plainly tell by the fact that he's a cur. His two choices of trees are Maneuvers of the Manymane, which increase his mobility, and the traits of the Alpha Chief, which is the tree that I personally prefer. You can get him to jump more, you can get him to be faster, This one's actually pretty good, Lucky Break, because it gives him an increased chance of coming back after being banished by an adversary in only 1 second. It's not bad. It's not the best, but it's not bad. I also kind of like Jamur's little quotes that you can see in here. Try to kill me all you like, and I shall reappear to make life worse for you each time. What a badass, man. But I usually prefer the traits of the Alpha Chief, which is not something that the internet will tell you to do, because most of them also prefer the Maneuvers of Manymane. But I always forget to do the second and eventually third jump that he gets. So instead, let's start with getting him Glory Dive, which lets him deal 5 more damage when he plunges into the Pyre. So now he deals exactly the same amount as Hedwyn, and that makes him a terrifying offensive threat because he respawns quickly, is really fast, and deals lots of damage.
A blessing from the Alpha Chief himself.
As for Jay, she's making her way up. She's not quite to that 1,000 mark, but she'll get there.
Till the stars align.
Talking to me, Jay, or... Oh, okay. Fair enough. Maybe you should have rehearsed it before talking to him? Is it? I didn't see anything in the book that said that. Then again, my book is, like, defective, but, you know. Yeah, to be fair, we didn't exactly teach her a whole lot yet. I think I know where this is going. And now he's losing it. I don't think he got the hint there, Jay. Just saying. Swing and a miss. Sorry about that, but, well, there'll be other opportunities. I think. Is it just me, or did something change around here? Feels like someone's missing. So you saw it too, huh? Yeah, the guy that was nearly motionless on the floor. He's a minstrel? Well, I guess that explains the loot. Where did he go? Oh boy. Alright, fair enough. I'll be here. You guys go look before night falls on us, because when night falls on us, I don't think the minstrel's going to want to be out wherever he is. But in the meantime, let's see where we're going next. Well, that would be Jamur over there. This star looks like it's glowing pretty good. Haoub, the Midnight Star. Alright, let's see. So this is at the other side of the flagging hands, if I recall correctly. So that's in this same area here, the downside, not the downside prairie, but what was this area called? Well, the Spring of Jamur, but it's on the other side of the area we're already in, that's the point. And that is a terrifying creature as well. I'm kind of glad we're not killing those things because I'm not sure any of us are well equipped for battle down here. So, yeah, across Jamur Valley. There you go. Excuse me, good lord. To the cairn of Haub. The accursed imp here felled the mighty bone titan Shaxx Six Shoulders. What a name. Risk what, exactly? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess then he's howler food? Fair enough. I hope he knows how to hide. Well, that's just great. Alright, well, we're down one minstrel, but we're up one Jay the Grey, so... And she brought an adornment with her, Jay's scribe catcher. She believes it brings good fortune. Alright, well, fair enough. Hedwyn, what's up? Oh, yeah, no hard feelings, man. You volunteered, so I figured I'd just let you have it. Yeah, fair enough. Well, that and you received, I helped you out with that private lesson when we were doing, you know, the vocational free time work back there, so I figured now we can kind of balance everybody out. I mean, if we get enough people together, cheering from the sidelines will be just as intense, so... Well, I'm glad that he took that in stride, because, spoiler alert, if you let anybody else sit out, they don't take it so well. Anyway, so I mentioned that I'd talk about this after we got done with that. So Hedwyn has this little green chunk on the side of his bar here. It won't let me see what it is, I don't think, by hovering over it. But the green bar is inspiration. And what that does is it gives you additional experience when you participate in the next rite, depending on how much inspiration you have. So right now Hedwyn has one little chunk, so the next time he participates, he'll get all of that chunk, which is about 150 experience if I remember right, plus whatever he would normally get for the rite. So he'll get 650 if he participates in the next rite. If you sit him out again, he'll get even more inspiration, and then he'll get all of that. Not all of that, most of that. It's like basically it gives you one chunk of inspiration for every rite that you participate in afterwards until the bar is filled up. So hopefully that makes sense. In any case, I think that's it for that, so let's continue on our journey. Signs of movement to the east, huh? Well, maybe he hid out somewhere to the east. Let's see here. So, Jodariel says he might have taken the same route that we took earlier, but Hedwyn thinks he could have taken the route opposite to the one that we took. Honestly, I'm kind of inclined, again, I hate to keep throwing Jodariel under the bus here, especially considering she's about twice my size, but I'm kind of inclined to agree with Hedwyn on this one. He's a minstrel, so that means that he's always looking for inspiration on things to sing about. So, if he was in any way conscious when we went across the fall flat, he would already know what was there and he wouldn't be as inspired. But the glue hive, we haven't seen, so kind of with Hedwyn on this one. Let's go see if I'm right or if I'm wrong. I think the result is the same no matter which way you go, actually, but we'll get there. Plus, it lets us see what the glue hive is, since, you know, we haven't seen that yet. So, the glue hive is the north route across the Jamur Valley and passes the remains of the hive titan. The lifeless carapace of Biolanthius, what a name, still looms over the western edge of the valley. So that's the thing that was crushed under the gigantic rock over there. A scorpion titan called Biolanthius. Fun. Again, glad that they're all dead, because I don't think we could kill... Well, okay, maybe Jodariel could kill them, because she's a house, but the rest of us... We'll get there, Hedwyn, no big deal. More of a promise, because if we don't find him, I'll kill him. Okay, so he's kind of been there since you got the black wagon. He just didn't really want to talk to me. Alright, well, fair enough. He also didn't really want to talk to Jay, but, you know. What do you see, Jodariel? Oh. What's wrong, Jay? Is she talking about the Howlers? Oh boy. I'm pretty sure she's talking about the Howlers. So everybody stop what we're doing. We got to prepare for this night. There's nothing to do in the Black Wagon, so we'll just get going. Howlers? Probably Howlers. It's definitely Howlers. Rookie, it's Howlers. Don't worry about it. Lots of Howlers. Why? What did we do that would attract their attention? Okay, maybe it has something to do with that and the fact that we won in the last 2 rights. I like your spunk, Joe Dario. Let's see what we can do. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I can't really defend myself, so who's coming with me? Alright, Jay. I'll take you up on that offer. Okay, everybody, you know your positions. Let's take care of these Howlers. We'll draw them out with the sigil, and then everybody can guard a different section of the Black Wagon. I will not toggle aim assist, actually, guys. I'm okay without it. Thank you. Yeah, that's a lot of them. Alright, Jay, let's see what we can do. Fend off the Howlers. So this is a mini-game, and for every Howler that you defeat, you'll gain 1 soul. They'll come in larger numbers eventually. This is sort of meant to be like a tutorial for Jay's abilities, but she's not really all that different from Hedwyn, which is probably why they didn't give you like a full tutorial. We'll get a full tutorial for most of the rest of them eventually, but... Alright, so you'll notice that when the Howlers are defeated, they leave a puddle. The puddle, if I recall correctly, makes you move slower. Not a big deal right now, but when they start coming in larger numbers, it will be a big deal. So... But for now, we're okay. Basically, just try to fend them off for as long as you can, because the more you fend them off, the more of a reward you'll get, so... They can also jump over your aura in case that wasn't clear from them, well, jumping over my aura, so... Nice. Oop, okay. Gotta actually aim at him there. Come on, then! I'll take you all on! Eventually. There we go. Many more? Oh, that's not good. Alright, where are they coming from? So this is this. I think there's a total of 3 rounds, if I recall correctly, although I don't think I've ever gotten past the 2nd round. So, I think you can have 3 of them hit the aura, or hit the pyre, and that's it, so. Like, that was 1. Oh, good, I'm on the other side. I guess it's more than 3, because here they come. Getting quite a few of them, though, so. Okay, good, we're done. Well, it's unfortunate we had to do what we had to do there, Jay, but... Uh-oh. Well, that's not good. Jay, run away, I can't help you! I'm still practically attached to the ground. I hope she's okay. Like, that, it would be terrible if something happened to her on my watch. What the hell would the others think? Are you okay? Are you trying to attack us now, little guy, or is Screehy to you too? What do you mean? Apparently he's not a foe, he's a friend. Alright then. A depth of experience from this imp. So this is one of the imps that, like, so there's drive imps, they're the ones that have been helping with the wagon, the ones that have been up in the rafters and everything, and apparently he's one of them. Not from our wagon? Or is he? Well, let's see if my experience with the book can help me essentially do telepathy here. Let's see. Okay. 4 words. First word, howler? Okay, I'm kind of starting to get it. Hang on, say it again for me one more time slowly. So you've been here before. Like, here as in the wagon before, okay. Oh, well, okay, nice to meet you too. I'm So you've been to the wagon before, and you've been here with the reader before? You've also been here when the Howlers were here before. Alright, cool. That was easier than I thought. I have broken the language barrier. Well, that's unexpected. So apparently he's familiar with the wagon. He knows that where it's been, and he knew how to find us somehow. Probably ran through the Howlers while howling to find us, so. Something like reverence. Who did I just pick up? He knows his way around, though, apparently. Alright then, let's welcome him aboard. Uh-huh. Oh, there he is. What's up, little guy? You making yourself at home? Yeah, I kind of figured. Hi. Yeah, creak here to yourself. I'm glad you're feeling so welcomed. You know, I kind of figured they were kind of making a mess and howling up a storm out there. Probably hear us for miles. Oh, okay. So that's why they stopped attacking us then, is because you scared them off. All right. Well, thanks for that then, I guess. Oh, well, yeah, that'd be really helpful actually, so thanks. Cool. Well, glad to have you on board. I will keep going, and again, try not to do you wrong. We'll try not to steer this place wrong. What a strange little guy. Well, we'll learn more about him in a little while. For now, I think we've rested up enough after the Howler attack, so let's continue on our journey. To get to the Cairn of Haub, which is our next destination, we have to go through the Lick Sand. And apparently our new imp friend is insistent that we take this path bearing east. Probably for the best, because if I remember right, the other path has you doing vocations. It's up here north, if I recall correctly. And you can, I think if you forage up there, you can find a talisman, but I don't recall because I barely ever forage, so. Anyway, he wants us to go this way, so we'll go this way. What's going on, Hedwin? Who's on the road? Maybe our next adversaries? No. Actually, he looks a little familiar. Tiza, I don't know your name yet. Can't say it yet. Don't go killing this guy yet. Might be a friend? You know he's a friend. Now we know his name. Sorry, I spoiled it 5 seconds before. The Drive Imp's name is Tizo. Apparently he knows his way around, but he also knows the minstrel, who we have found now. Good to see you. How'd you get all the way over here by yourself with all the Howlers? Did you just not pay attention to you, or? Oh, well that's not ominous at all. He does seem a little bit more mysterious than the rest of our crew, doesn't he? What made you decide to run off? Oh, so you had to notify Sandalwood that we're up and at 'em again, huh? Yeah, I guess I kind of assumed that point, but whenever someone talks about points of contact here, it's probably Sandalwood. He's kind of got his hands everywhere, so at least as far as we can see from our friends and now the minstrel. Okay. Well, fair enough. If you don't want to join for the rites, that's fine. What do you think? Going across the land is going to inspire you? I mean, I guess that's fair. So the minstrel's name is Tariq, although I don't think it ever replaces his name at the top here. I think he's always the lone minstrel, if I remember right. I'll probably refer to him as either one or the other, depending on how I feel, or if I remember. I should remember, considering I've played this game a few times, but, you know. But he seems to be connected to the rites somehow, despite the fact that he isn't conducting the rites. So the lone minstrel has rejoined our group. Maybe he can play us a little ditty on the way to the Cairn of Haub? No, he has to be inspired first before he plays a little ditty. Although you could make the inference that most of the background music in the game is from him, but it was playing when he wasn't here, so maybe not at the same time. Alright then, Oh, sure, Tariq. Why not? So before we commence with the rite, we can go talk to Tariq. We've got a new page in the book, and we can go to the slug market. And we just got 54 coins for fending off those howlers. Apparently each of them had 1 gold on them, or 1 soul. So we'll go take a look. Oh, and he brought his loot with him as well. It is attached to the wall, but also in his hands. Whatever. Anyway, Tariq, what's up? Okay, sure. What do you got on your mind? That's the key word in that sentence is something, because the Book of Rites, the ancient manuscript revealing a mystic path to freedom from the downside, is mostly blank for me, Tariq. Is it supposed to do that? Because it'd be a lot more helpful if I could read everything in it. Anyway, for centuries, the teachings of the 8 scribes have been passed down through oral tradition alone. The Book of Rites is not something you would have seen up in the Commonwealth. I wonder why. I have no idea what you're talking about, Tariq. Sorry, the book is mostly written in invisible ink at the moment. Sorry. Okay. I will try not to let any of you down then. Fair enough. So anyway, Tariq leaves the white loot behind in your cabin. It's another adornment, but this one's a little bit special because you can interact with it to listen to music from your quest. And yeah, you can hear glimpses of past and future experiences in the downside because the whole OST is available for you in these listings, even the ones that you haven't heard yet. Now, the difference between the white loot versions and the normal versions is that these are ditties that are exclusively or almost exclusively done by lute, because that's the only instrument that Tariq has available. So it's kind of a music box for the game, or like a sound test, but also at the same time kind of not. It's sort of, but not quite. So, and there's a lot of music to be had here. So, although apparently a decent chunk of it is not currently available. I actually didn't really remember looking at this to see that, yeah, you can't actually play these until you see them. But, well, there you go. Eventually, all of these will unlock, and you'll be able to listen to all of them. But for now, it's fine. We don't need to listen to it for now. Let's see this next page about the rope caller in here. This is page 7, so we've already read through up to page 5. That was the last one, so like 5, 6, and then 7. The rope caller. What does Gaul have to say about that? I knew it was a fool's errand, but my liege, he would not listen. He instead insisted to pursue a certain treasure, a celestial orb, freshly fallen from the heavens in the reaches of the downside. He would be a living legend if only he could grasp it, whispered in his ear that Kaelmer rope caller, his elder and most trusted aide. Would that I slew that man myself. It was a simple and yet brilliant ruse to draw the Emperor farther still from his responsibilities and toward his greed. Thus did the Emperor begin an expedition into the Forsaken Lands. He insisted that he go himself. He had to hog all the glory. Something tells me this Solia Mur guy wasn't exactly the nicest person when he led he didn't lead the Commonwealth, he led their predecessor. We'll talk about them later. But apparently he made his way down to the downside at some point to make sure that he could grab the celestial orb that we use for the rites. I wonder how that worked out for him. So you're just one of the imps. I was actually looking for Tizo's nest, but he might not have set it up yet. I think it goes up here, if I remember right. Well, we'll see eventually. Anyway, let's go see what's at the slug market, shall we? What's up, Ron? I'm surprised you ran all this way yourself. Glad if the howlers didn't, I was gonna say, I'm glad the howlers didn't get you, but a magician never reveals his secrets. And what would that be, Ron? I did, yes. Oh, well thanks, Ron, appreciate that. So he'll give you a sample of stardust. This is used to raise the rank on talismans. You can only use it once, it's consumable, but it is very valuable and very useful. It's probably the most valuable single item that you can get in the game. It isn't exactly the most effective because it's only going to raise it by 1 for the moment, but hey, I'll take every little bit I can get for right now. Now, Ron isn't just giving you a sample, he also has some available for purchase as well. As you can see, this is only 3 soul, definitely worth the purchase, so we'll buy it. You can also interact with Ron to tell him to shut up, but really he doesn't bother me all that much if he does his little mouth noises, so... Sure, just don't go snuffling it up your nose there, Ron. It's not that kind of Stardust. Okay, yeah, fair enough. I'll stop. So basically he replenishes his stock of Stardust every so often, and you can grab more from him. So we'll do that. As for items I want to buy, let's see. We're not going to be able to buy both the Ashen Coal and the Cur Fang at the moment. And I don't have room for it anyway because I still have the Tailwind Crest and stuff. The lucrative contract isn't a bad idea. If you're going to have someone like Joe Dario doing a lot of vanishing, it'll get you a decent chunk of soul. But, I don't know, at this point I'm kind of okay with maybe even just selling the Tailwind Crest so I can buy one of these two because those are a little more worthwhile at the moment. So let's go see if I can find it. I'd even sell the Moon Crest, but he just talked about it, so I don't want to sell it when it's like, oh, well, that's something I just gave you. What do you mean you're going to sell it already? So, Tailwind Crest is worth 25 soul, though, so yeah, it might come in pretty handy as a little booster to my my cash flow. I think I'll have enough to buy both the Ashen Coal and the Cur Fang now. Yeah, actually. Need 95, got 96, so it's a little bit of money, but hey, these will come in handy. Yeah, you're welcome. I think Moi Goi Taish is like the thank you of, because everybody kind of speaks in like a foreign tongue in the game. English, quote unquote, is available, but only through text, so only readers can speak in actual English. So yeah, $1 to your name, something like that. I think actually there might be an actual direct translation there, because I think if I remember right, the inspiration for the language that they speak in this one was kind of like a conglomerate of a lot of Romanized languages, so like Italian, French, Spanish, a whole bunch of stuff, so yeah. So it may just be exactly that. Okay, so we have 2 things of Stardust. This is rank 5, this is rank 5. So what does the Stardust do to these? Okay, so that gets us 2 extra Pyre if we do that. This does not upgrade from just the 1. So I guess we'll use it on the Ashen Coal, because, yeah, it's pretty useful. Plus 10 extra Pyre, why not? Give us a little bit of an insurance policy. Alright, so who's going to come along for the next go-around? I definitely want Ruki and Jay coming along, because they have the least amount of enlightenment out of anybody, so it's probably good to have them come along. So, let me unequip the Moon Crest for now. And we'll just leave this stuff here. And, well, I would get the lucrative contract, but I don't think we need it all that badly at the moment, so. Thanks for all the stuff, Ron. Appreciate it. Okay, I think we're all set. By the way, in the top right there, that's just the thing up here. That's just the autosave, so every time you do something, it'll autosave there. Means I have to be a little careful, because if I delete something by accident this time, like I did when we played Final Fantasy Legend 2, I can't exactly fix that without playing the whole game again, but I'll be careful, I think. I hope. Alright, let's start the next rite, shall we? Nothing else to do. We'll equip the talismans when we're prepping, I think, so. Let's see who's waiting for us at the Cairn of Hawub. All is quiet for a time, and then shattered. Okay then. Hi. You, did you bring the death metal band with you, or is that just everywhere with you? Barker Ashpaws, huh? Okay. He's a troublemaking cur who thrills in the defeat of the triumvirates who stand against him. I can see that. I would say don't talk ill about my friend, but it's not like I can defend myself, so. Uh-huh. Sure. Rookie, you don't have to take that from him. I kind of just took that from him myself, but. Alright, so if he won't listen to us with words, we'll have to shut him up with actions. So let's do it. The song playing in the background is called Thrash Pack, by the way. It feels so out of place with the rest of the OST, but I think that's what makes it so good.
Welcome, dear
honestly.
reader, to the splendors of the accursed cairn of Haub.
Not exactly my summer home voice, man.
Downside grows less pleasant from this point.
It gets worse?
But first,
Great.
there's a tradition to uphold.
Uh-huh.
This time you stand against the dissidents. Even now they hunger to defeat you.
Too bad they aren't hungry for something
Perhaps
else. We
not
could have
simply
traded
to
them to Headwind's
regain
home
their
cooking.
freedom, but to deny you yours.
Sure. Well, we'll see what they can do. Apparently they like to talk trash before they start. Fair enough. What's up, Rookie? You can't. I mean, they did kind of talk shit to you, but you're not letting that get to you, are you? I mean, come on, it's just a few words. Okay. Something happened between Rookie and Barker. Yeah, we'll handle this, Rookie. We got it. Oh, do you, Tariq? And who's that gonna be? Do we have another nomad robe? I feel like that would be the one that he'd wear, but... Oh. Who? Oh, him! Hi, Tizo. I didn't know you had raiments in there. I mean, I guess that makes sense. They did say they wanted a mask for every person, and... Well, apparently they had raiments for Tizo, too. I've seen stranger things down here, Joe Dariel, so I don't know about this one. Alright, then. Well, let's see what you can do, Tizo. So from now on, before the rites begin, when you get a new party member, they'll let you do a small tutorial section with them that'll allow you to kind of get the handle on how they play, so... Excuse me. Alright, Tizo, let's see what you can do. Well, let's see some of those tricks then. He does, in fact, take some getting used to, because most other people kind of can move around a little bit different from him. He can walk, he's a little slow, almost a little bit, only a little bit faster than Joe Dario, but he can also fly. So that's cool. He can fly until his stamina is depleted. He kind of moves pretty slow when he's flying. As you can see here, this is his top speed. So... As for his forward movement, instead of sprinting like everybody else, he zips instead, which allows him to quickly hop to his destination directly in front of him. The main draw to having Tizo play for you is his aura cast. He doesn't cast his aura like everybody else does, because when you press square, he explodes! When he explodes, he comes back within 2 seconds, though, so it kind of makes it not so, like... kamikaze. It is kamikaze in a way, but it's kamikaze with a purpose because he comes back faster than usual. So, I think if I remember right, he comes back if he's banished in like 8 seconds or something like that. He has a decent hope score, but imploding allows you to have him come back quickly and also potentially take out multiple adversaries at once. So, now if they jump, the explosion doesn't hit them, so you just have to keep that in mind. So when you do this, the AoE is large, but if they jump at all, don't release, because otherwise it won't hit them. Just wait till they're all standing on the ground, and then boom. So, yeah. Alright, Tizo. That's a nice little bag of tricks you got there. We'll see what we can do to use it. So yeah, our opponent are 3 curs, which they can run circles around us, but I think if we keep our more defensive people here, it should make it a little easier for us to protect our Pyre. So... I will see what we can do with you, Tizo. You probably have a decent enlightenment score since you know something of the rites already, but you're still probably on the lower end compared to everybody else, so... I will equip the Kerfang. I just don't know if I'm going to equip it on Headwind yet. So, alright, Rookie's unwilling to actually fight here, as you can see. You can't have him come along with you. And that'll happen occasionally. Certain people just won't want to conduct the rite, and you'll have to play around that. It's kind of the game's way of saying, okay, so you've played with these people for a little bit, so now kind of mix it around a little bit. It's encouraging you to get to know everyone. So we will do that. Let's see. So yeah, Tizo, you're practically at rank 2 at the moment. You'll get there from this right if you conduct. I think I want Jodario because of her large aura. It'll make it so that the Curs will have a hard time keeping working their ways around her. So I'm also going to give her the Ashen Coal because she's kind of our defensive person in this case. So she'll get the extra +10. And we'll equip the Moon Crest on the next person we have who has the lowest hope. I guess everybody's kind of got decent hope, but yeah, I'll probably give the Kerfang to Jay. Because Tizo, when he douses the Pyre, he only does 15, so he's not exactly the best attacker at the moment, but he'll get there eventually. So let's take a look at our adversaries, shall we? Okay, so Barker apparently has a decent amount of enlightenment already. As a matter of fact, he's already at... No, he's not quite at rank 3. He's almost at rank 3. It says he needs 1,000, but he's not, because as you can see there, he's got 1 mastery, so he's still at rank 2. He's got Cloud Jump, so he can double jump. The other Curs also have Cloud Jump, so we'll have to keep that in mind, because they can jump twice, so... Alright, Jodario, you're up again.
Jodario.
Get us the extra Pyre there. And then let's bring Jay along, and then we'll bring Tizo along.
Yay.
Still think it's Jay. Not gonna argue with you, voice man, but I still think it's Jay.
Tizo.
Now the auras that we have here are fairly large, which should keep them from being able to jump into and, well, they'll still be able to jump into the Pyre, but they'll have to run past us, which might be a little tougher. This fight is actually a little tricky, if I recall correctly, so we'll see what happens. I'm gonna have Jodario kind of go in first, but, you know. You can also push the, these little things on the side, by the way, so that can help a little bit with the whole, actually being able to do this. Oh, okay, well, that wasn't good. Hang on, let me get rid of this guy first. Tizo, why don't you go get that guy? There we go.
Unfortunate for the dissidents.
Sure is. Ooh, okay. Well, that's unfortunate. Tizo! No, you don't. Alright. Well, that's yeah, I was going to say, a pretty good start. Probably won't work too well now because we have 2 defensive people that make it a little hard to get the ball in, but I'll see what I can do. That's not what I want it to be. Okay. Now, when you jump with Jodario, as you can see, it knocks opponents away from you, which can sometimes stun them. Sometimes it doesn't work as well as you might want it to, but... You can also throw the ball ahead of yourself, kind of like you're passing it, like I just did there with Jodario, and that actually helps quite a bit, because then you regain your aura once you throw the ball ahead of you, which can allow you to score with her easier than you otherwise would. Okay. I'd give it to Jay, she's our quickest person. Alright, get my stamina back. Run! Oh, it's a little off the mark. That's okay. Nice, Tizo. Alright, good. Now, let's move over here. I think, as I say, I think Jodario's kind of stuck, but got him. This battle ain't over yet, though. Barker will probably put in a little bit of a fuss now, as you can see. They get a little pissed off once you start doing stuff like this, as you can see. Just a bit.
Whatever shall you do against so fierce a foe?
Alright, Tizo, go ahead, grab your, Oh, okay, this'll work. Nice. Yeah, the nice thing about Tizo's Flutter is that the enemies here kind of can't, like, get high enough to get him to not, whatchamacallit. Oh, good. Yeah, a little bit. The enemies kind of can't get high enough to intercept him when he flutters, which is, it's kind of nice. So I'll do what I can to get him moving. Oh, God. Okay, well, thank you for the Moon Crest, at least. Okay. It's a good thing I didn't step too far forward there. Go get him, May. Or May, Jay. You know what I mean. Alright, Tizo. Go ahead and drop, get your stamina back, or just go. I mean, that works too.
And it is done.
They actually scored on me, but doesn't matter. Noxalis.
Accomplished effortlessly, I might add.
Good job, team. Tizo looks a whole lot like that Hollow Knight bug with the mask on. Yeah, just a little bit, actually. Wonder if they inspired each other in a way. I don't remember when Hollow Knight released. They might have been developing alongside each other, so maybe. Imagine having a giant push force person helps a bunch in a hockey match. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you saw what was happening there. I basically flooded their respawn point with a bunch of things that blocked them from shooting at me, their auras. So let Joe Dario actually score, which is not normal. So, ref, that player's just flying over the defense. Smart player. I'll allow it. Deliberating. We did, yes. Good work, everybody. Well, you guys tried to run circles around us, but we had the better defense. So, hyper offense only works when your opponent doesn't have an aura that's a third of the field when they're all together. Okay, I'll send the message.
The rites do tend to teach something of trust.
Yeah, fair enough. All right.
Something's awakened in the moon-touched girl.
Nice work, Jay. So what did they whisper to you this time? Let's take a look. Oh, that's not good. So Jay is a savage. It's what her race is. I said she was a little bit different from Headwind, but her race draws their masteries from a certain traitorous individual named Kaelmer Ropecaller. You may recall that Gull doesn't exactly like that guy, but hey, if she can get masteries out of it that make her better, all the better, I suppose. So she can get tricks of the Ropecaller, or the Grand Trader's Leanings. And I think if I recall correctly, you want to go more down the Leanings side, but both of her first masteries are very good, if I recall correctly. Yeah, Heightened Reflex is really nice because it allows her to essentially ignore the one shortcoming that Savages have, which is that they have to kind of rev up before they move or jump. Now, she doesn't have to do that. She can just jump and move as quickly as you can press the button. As a matter of fact, when she does her power jump, if you just tap the button, you pretty much get a power jump out of it, which lets her jump farther than usual. So, I'll probably take that one, and then we'll move to this tree where she can Snapcast, which allows her to cast even better than normal. She can basically do a, like the power cast even faster than usual. So, we'll get this one first, and then we'll move from there. The ones below this, they're all right. Webbed Feet in particular can be fairly useful, but I'm not really all that enthused by the rest of the stuff in this section. Meanwhile, over here, you know how shooting is really good in rights when you have an open field there? Yeah, so imagine being able to shoot from half court in that quick, at maximum capacity. That's what Jay can do once she gets Quick Fling. And as if that wasn't enough, eventually she can also sprint and jump without using stamina, so she effectively has unlimited stamina for the remainder of the game. She's really good. Like I said, she becomes GG eventually. But for now, we'll get her Heightened Reflex and then we'll work on the other tree.
From the rope collar.
As for Tizo,
Seldom avails itself to simple imps.
Tizo is no simple imp though, Voice Man, as you can see here. He's an imp, so he draws his masteries from the Accursed Imp. Haub, as it turns out. So I guess it's appropriate that he gets his rank 2 at the cairn of his scribe master. Snapcast? Fuck, it's Mabinogi all over again. Yeah, something like that. So there's 2 trees here, as usual. The Secrets of the Accursed Imp and the Flights of the Swallow. So majestic. I think most people prefer to go up the Secrets line because it allows Tizo to move and zip faster than usual, which I will get probably this one. The rest are okay. It lets him implode and return 50% faster, which means he returns after 1 second rather than 2. This lets him banish adversaries in a wide area, and then he also deals 10 additional damage when he attacks, which allows him to be a very effective combatant because then he deals 25 damage. Let's say, for example, you give him the Kerfang, he deals even more damage now. So that line's pretty good. I'm trying to think if I want to go up the flights line, though. From what I understand, the moon sign is very situational. What it does is when he gets banished, as long as he doesn't have the orb, he'll leave a sign. And if you walk behind your pyre, there's like a teleport pad now behind your pyre that'll let you teleport to the spot where Tizo fell. And if you take the line all the way up, eventually he'll also give you one that effectively gives you unlimited stamina and additional quickness for a couple of seconds after you pop out of the moon sign. This is really the one that I want in this line of thought, though. Like, I'm not really enthused by the moon sign itself, to be honest. The thing that I'm more enthusiastic about is Last Laugh, because it makes Tizo into an offensive attacker rather than a scorer. Basically, you have him run up into the enemies, they blow him up with an aura cast, or they blow him up by running into him, and then he explodes and kills them. So, I'm conflicted. I'd like to do that, but the rest make him very good offensively, too. And you only get 4 masteries total, so like you can't be like, okay, well, I'll take 3 here and 2 here. No, that doesn't work, so. Maybe since it's a lesser difficulty, take the path less taken. Yeah, that was what I was thinking with this tree. It's tough to give this tree up, though, I'll tell you what. So here's what we'll do. How about this? We'll start with Elusive Nature, kind of like what we're doing with Jay. We'll start with this, and then we'll go up this tree, and I'll get Last Laugh while I'm at it, and we'll see how that works.
'Tis the influence of the Imp Scribe. Until the next...
He is pretty much the AoE expert. Yeah, he basically, he can deal... Like, if you get Last Laugh, or if you get that other one that increases the AoE on his Implode, eventually his Implode ability basically takes up about half the screen. It's pretty ridiculous. If you give him the proper talisman and you have him take that, it's pretty nuts. So... The others are good offensively. He can be the kamikaze tech, yeah. I usually don't play Tizo offensively, like as a scorer anyway. I just find his flutter to be too slow to really let him get in the late game when they actually learn how to jump. So, yeah. Anyway, apparently we did pretty good here, so thanks, Tariq. All right, well, that's a few rights taken care of. Let's see what we have to do in the aftermath, and then we'll move to our next destination, and probably call it a day, actually. Like I said before, the graphical fidelity on this game is incredible, but the problem with it is the same I had with Tetris Effect, where eventually staring at it for long enough makes my eyes feel like they're going to bug out of my head, so I can't really stream this for 3 hours at a time like I usually do. So, let's take a look at the dissidents, since we didn't really get a whole lot out of Barker. They're a triumvirate of anarchists who conduct the rites for sheer thrill, so the opposite of the Fate, basically. Fair enough. And they're led by Barker, which is not good for Rookie, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, what was that all about, man? Well, yeah, I guess I figured that much. Apparently these two know what happened with Rookie, but I guess they knew each other for longer than, you know, I have known him. Yeah, I should probably go see what the stars are telling us before dawn breaks and then we don't get to our next destination, so. Yeah, as you get older, games wreck your vision. Yeah, I think it's just the saturation of the colors, honestly. Like, I don't have this problem with a lot of older games, but newer games with higher graphical fidelity just... My eyes can't handle it for as long as I used to, so, you know. I mean, same, you wear glasses with thick lenses. Nerd! I do, too. Games with dumb AF graphics you're still drawn to. Oh, no, absolutely. Like, it's not a complaint to the graphical fidelity in this game. I love it. It's just, yeah, I can't play it for as long as some other ones. There are other action games where that'll be the case because it just doesn't, I can't play it for as long due to other factors. Depending on the game, it might be the frustration factor. I'm thinking of one particular game, but we'll talk about that when we get to it much, much later down the line. Anyway, before the stars leave us, let's take a look at our next destination. Definitely going to look for this at a sale, though. Yeah, it's pretty good. I would recommend seeing if you could find it. It actually, this version, the PS4 version, I got it on sale a couple of months ago, I think. It was like $6 or something, so that was a pretty good deal. Depends on if you want to truly suffer. And oh, you know what you're going to suggest next? Depending if you want me to truly suffer or not. Oh, great, because that game is long. Well, I'd say still give it a suggestion. We'll see what happens. I don't mind. Might have to lower some contrast or gamma settings or use a blue light filter. Yeah, there is a lot of blue in this game, absolutely. The nice thing about some newer indie games that have been doing is they have a warm light filter on them, and the other game that's tied for third in my list of favorite indie games of all time has a warm light filter on it, and it makes the graphics much more manageable on my eyes. I can play it for longer without getting tired, even though the saturation is about the same as this game. So, yeah. 49 maps, are you sure about that? Oh, that game. Okay, well... I'm not saying that I'll be doing all 48, 49 maps. I might get tired of the game by 6 and say, that's it. But I'd still give it a shot. I don't care. Anyway, the next star is the bog star, Millith. Good. What kind of cesspool are we digging ourselves into here? Well, we're going to find out. The Flagging Hands, huh? A gloom-filled, desolate region of the downside, beyond which lies the sea. Well, I'd much rather be past this. But in the meantime, to get to the sea, we have to go through a fetid sprawl of noisome, festering, unpleasant adjectives. Basically, a disgusting swamp pit. Why is there always a swamp? I hope you're right, Jay. Yeah, if anywhere, it doesn't exactly sound pleasant. Then sounds like we're resting for the night, gang. We'll press deeper into the downside, into the Flagging Hands, to continue on our journey. After I go to the Black Wagon and see who needs to talk to me. Excuse me. Oh, it's Rookie. What's up there, chum? You, want to elaborate on what's been troubling you, or...? Well, you can level with me. I'm all ears. Yeah, he's a little hard to forget, especially considering his theme is so... out there compared to the rest of the soundtrack. What do you mean? Oh, okay, and? So before you joined with the Nightwings, you went to him for help. I mean, fair play, I guess. He's probably one of the most dominant curs down here. So what happened? Nothing you're gonna elaborate on. Great. Well, you don't exactly scream poor person judging by your clothing, so... I'm glad you're optimistic? Sure. He's gonna have some trouble with this Barker guy, isn't he? Well, we didn't get a roster update, so we don't really get the full story just yet. Not all exiles are going to be as forthcoming with their backstories as Headwind was. Some of them might take a few turns of the cycles, if you know what I mean. Here's Tizo's nest, by the way, that I was talking about for this. There's also a plush fish in it. Maybe Tizo likes fishing? Well, I don't think he's going to be doing a whole lot of fishing around here, because the next closest place where we can throw a rod and reel into the ocean is across the Flagging Hands. And we have to go through that disgusting place on the next episode of Pyre the Stream Edition, which will be happening on Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, Daylight Savings Time is over. I think I said Daylight Time on the last stream, but yeah, forgot about that part, so, you know, we'll just have to get used to Standard Time. Oh, you already have the game. How'd that happen? Must have caught your eye before this. It did come out 5 years ago at this point, so... It's okay, that means we can play along together. Yeah, normally it'd be 8 p.m., yeah, if it wasn't for the fact that we just fell back, so. In any case, thank you for watching, everybody. I appreciate you coming out to Twitch and YouTube to check out the stream, and I'll see all of you on the next one, which, as I said, will be on Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, everybody take care, and have a good one. Honestly, though, even though the brightness is higher than it normally is for me, the game hasn't really made my eyes bug out all that much this first one. Maybe taking a break and talking with chat was just the medicine that I needed to play this without feeling like my eyes needed to jump out of my head and take a dunk in the river. It's okay. I'm all for it. It's probably better than losing my vision earlier, you know?